Chapter 22. Lin Xian only knew that he had gotten himself into a lot of trouble. But so what? Did he have to be afraid? Why should he be afraid? It was all because he was not strong enough. So he had to become strong. School was dismissed from Tianhua Academy, and Lin Xian returned home. Lin Ye had not returned from the office. Lin Xian laid on the sofa and opened his stats. Name: Lin Xian. Age: 21. Realm: Spirit Focus 2 stars. Level: 12. Experience: 04000. Scumbag value: 751800. Strength: 147. Vitality: 146. Agility: 145. Mental strength: 145. Spiritual energy: 550. Talent: Imperial Physician Martial Technique, Spiritual Eye. Basically, Lin Xian's strength was at the level of 2 stars of spirit condensation. Scumbag's value was 751,800. 750,000. This was Lin Xian's gain for the day. It seemed like a lot, but it was not enough. There were 3 items that could be purchased in the system store. Lin Xian felt that it was more important to increase his realm first. Actually, there was another item that Lin Xian was very curious about, and that was the big wheel in the system store. It cost 500,000 to go once, and there was a random item. Lin Xian did not know what it was, and whether there was a so-called thank you or patronage, he did not know either. So Lin Xian was hesitating whether to exchange for 7 experience fruits or 1 lucky draw. If he exchanged for the experience fruits, Lin Xian would be able to increase 1 level to 3 stars of the Spirit Focus realm, and even a little more. But this big wheel was too curious. Lin Xian hesitated again and again, and chose the big wheel. He had no choice. Humans were curious creatures. What if there was a divine beast, or a divine weapon inside? Wouldn't that be awesome? Stealing his heart, Lin Xian chose to confirm. The big wheel in the system began to spin faster and faster, faster and faster, and then gradually slowed down. And finally it stopped. Lin Xian froze. He didn't know what he had drawn until he heard the system notification. Ding! Congratulations on successfully winning the blow-up doll. The reward will be released immediately. Lin Xian. What the hell? Did he mishear or something? A blow-up doll? Then, a light flashed beside Lin Xian, and a blow-up doll in a white dress was lying on the sofa. Gulp! Lin Xian swallowed his saliva and looked at the inflatable doll in confusion. CK your brother to death. A scumbag worth 500,000 renminbi, and you gave it to a blow-up doll? Lin Xian was unwilling to give up. He picked up the inflatable doll and examined it to see if there was anything special about it. However, there was nothing special about it. Despair. Incomparable despair. At this moment, another system notification popped up. Ding! Host's luck has exploded. You have obtained draw 1 more time. Lin Xian. Seriously, Lin Xian wanted to go crazy before this. But fortunately, the system gave him face. No, to be more precise, its character was good. The lottery even triggered another draw. Phew! If you give me another blow-up doll, I'll immediately climb to the 20th floor and face the ground. Do you believe me? Taking a deep breath, Lin Xian started the lottery again. Good. His mentality did not explode. If Lin Xian didn't get another chance to draw, then Lin Xian's mental state would really explode. Ding! Congratulations! You have obtained the Earth Class 8-star skill, 5 Thunder Celestial Phenomenon. Phew! Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. Finally it was something normal, and it was a martial skill. Wasn't this what Lin Xian needed? And this martial skill was actually an Earth-class martial skill. On planet Aqua Blue, martial arts techniques and spiritual weapons were categorized into yellow, mystic, earth and heaven. It was said that there were even more powerful martial arts techniques above the heaven rank, but those were almost all legends. The heaven, earth, mystic and yellow rank martial arts techniques each had 1 to 10 stars, just like the martial artist realm. For example, the 5 Thunder Celestial Phenomenon that Lin Xian drew was an Earth rank 8-star martial arts technique. Among the Earth rank martial arts techniques, only 9-star and 10-star martial arts techniques were above it. However, not to mention Earth rank, even Mystic rank martial arts techniques and 1-star Mystic rank martial arts techniques were extremely rare. Earth class, that was a class that could cause a bloodbath. It was said that the strength of a heaven-class martial skill could overturn mountains and seas. Then, an Earth-class 8-star martial skill, which was only a few stars away from the heaven class, would definitely have a terrifying destructive power. And it was a lightning-type martial skill. The most violent, the most powerful attack attribute. The memory of the 5 Thunder Celestial phenomenon was directly instilled in his mind, which meant that Lin Xian could use it directly. No, I have to try. 5 Thunder Celestial phenomenon. According to the method in his memory, Lin Xian opened his palm to gather spiritual energy, as if a terrifying lightning would appear in his palm in the next second. But there was nothing. What the hell? Lin Xian tried again, but there was still no reaction. He was sure that he did not do anything wrong. But why couldn't it condense? F***CK. Did you F***King system give me a fake product? F***CK. It's either a blow-up doll or a fake. Is this system even reliable? Lin Xian began to complain. Then the system's little girl voice sounded. Detected host's dissatisfaction. Taking countermeasures, please wait. Lin Xian sighed in relief. At least you know what's good for you. At least the system would take countermeasures. This should be enough to make up for it, right? Countermeasures have been prepared. If the host is dissatisfied with the system's performance, a level 1 heavenly lightning will descend as punishment. Lin Xian. F***CK. The countermeasures were actually to use force to attack the host? This scumbag system, it's really scumbag. Lin Xian decided not to rebuke this damned system anymore. That system, if you want to give me a good one, you have to give me a good one. It's really hard for me to accept a fake martial skill. Lin Xian said helplessly. Detected martial skill 5 Thunder Celestial phenomenon is authentic. Then why can't I use it? Detected no lightning attribute in the host's body. Lin Xian. At this moment, Lin Xian suddenly understood. That's right, the 5 Thunder Celestial phenomenon was a lightning attribute, which required the condensation of spiritual energy and lightning attribute energy in the body. Then the 5 Thunder Celestial phenomenon would be demonstrated. However, Lin Xian did not have any attributes, so he could not condense the lightning attribute. No matter how powerful the 5 Thunder Celestial phenomenon was, he could not release it. It's over. Does this mean that I can't release the martial skill? Lin Xian suddenly felt a little terrified. Before, he did not have any concept and thought that it was fine if he did not have any attributes. But now it seemed that without attributes, he could not condense any attribute energy, which meant that he could not even release martial skills. And martial skills were something that a martial artist could not lack. System cutie, what do I do if I don't have any attributes? Ding. Unable to find a solution. My condolences to the host. Lin Xian. F***King hell. At this moment, the door opened and Linya walked in. Little fairy, you're back. Lin Xian shouted. Linya nodded and said, and I'll clean up and go cook. You must be hungry. As she spoke, she looked at Lin Xian, and then suddenly saw a white blow-up doll on the sofa. Linya was instantly stunned. Chapter 23. Lin Xian was stunned at first. Why did Linya have such an expression? He even touched his own face. Could it be that this young master has become handsome? Linya's beautiful face turned slightly red. She then looked at Lin Xian and said softly, Little Xian, I know that you guys have needs in that area, but you can't go so far as to use it, right? Allah. Lin Xian was stunned again. He suddenly followed Linya's gaze. F***CK. Lin Xian looked at the blow-up doll on the sofa, and suddenly felt extremely awkward. No, little fairy, you misunderstood. Ding successfully made little big sister shy. Scumbag man points plus 10,000. Linya walked over with a red face, and tidied up the blow-up doll's clothes. Because Lin Xian had been looking for a mechanism on the blow-up doll to see if there was anything fishy, her clothes were especially messy. However, in Linya's eyes, this was just a mess. Little Xian, finding a girlfriend is so good. Using this, is it the same? Linya's face was burning as she spoke. Although she was Lin Xian's sister, she was still a girl. Although she was quite cold, she was still inexperienced. No. Lin Xian really didn't know how to explain. I really didn't. I don't even know why this doll was in front of our house. I was just curious, so I brought it in. Then Lin Xian looked at Lin Ye's expression and knew that she didn't believe him. God, what should he do? In Lin Ye's eyes, this little brother of hers had become a wretched man. Lin Ye then said with a serious face, Little Xian, it's not that I want to criticize you. I can understand that you have needs in this area, and I won't blame you. But you can't lie, okay? If it's yours, then it's yours. Lin Xian wanted to cry but had no tears. But it really isn't mine. Is it really not? Lin Xian said. I swear, I, Lin Xian, would never use a doll even if I were to masturbate myself. I swear. Nonsense. Lin Ye's pretty face turned red. She knew Lin Xian very well. Thinking about it carefully, it was indeed the case. If he was really thirsty, it would be very easy for him to find an ordinary girlfriend. There was no need for him to buy a doll. I'm going to cook. After saying that, Lin Ye put on her apron and walked into the kitchen. Lin Xian turned his head to look at the doll, his face ashen. F***ck. His reputation had been ruined by a child. Go. Lin Xian threw the doll off the balcony. Hey, who was working on the balcony and dropped the doll? A roar came from below. Lin Xian closed the window and lay on the sofa sulking. Unhappy. He was extremely unhappy. This roulette wheel is too F***king deceptive. However, after he was unhappy, Lin Xian began to think about his own attributes. Almost all martial skills had attributes. For example, the thunder attribute could only release thunder-type martial skills. Other attributes could not release thunder-type martial skills. Generally, martial skills with attributes were relatively stronger. Of course, there were also non-attribute martial skills, but their effects were much weaker. At present, the good thing was that it was not that he could not learn martial skills, but he could not learn any attribute martial skills. However, it was still acceptable for now because most of the martial skills he learned in the Sky Martial Court were non-attribute martial skills. As for his attributes, Lin Xian believed that there would be a way. How could a living person suffocate to death by urine? Let's feed little fairy 2 experience fruits first. Lin Ye had never gone out of the city to farm monsters. She also did not know any combat skills. She only wanted to work and improve her life. However, Lin Xian felt that since he had the ability, he must help Lin Ye. With a realm, Lin Ye would be able to protect herself outside. Lin Xian was also more at ease. After all, Lin Ye was too beautiful. It was normal for some people to covet her. The remaining scumbag points were enough to exchange for 2 experience fruits. 2 experience fruits were not enough for Lin Xian to level up. However, 2,000 experience fruits was enough for Lin Ye to level up. This was because Lin Xian only needed 3,000 experience points to level up from 1 star to 2 stars in the Spirit Focus realm. With 2 experience fruits in his hand, Lin Xian walked into the kitchen. Little fairy, let me show you a treasure. Lin Ye quickly turned her head and looked at Lin Xian reproachfully. Little Xian, how can you say such things to me? What? Lin Xian scratched his head. Lin Ye blushed and said, You said it yourself. Lin Xian then thought of something, and a smile appeared on his face. He then said to Lin Ye, I say, little fairy, what is in your head? When I said I would show you a treasure, it was this. Lin Xian opened his hand, and the experience fruit appeared in his palm. Lin Ye looked at the experience fruit in Lin Xian's hand and said, Isn't this the saint fruit? This is the treasure I was talking about. What did you think it was? I don't understand. Lin Xian teased. Ding successfully made little big sister shy. Scumbag points plus 50,000. She's shy. Ha ha ha. Lin Ye is shy. And it seems like she's extremely shy because her scumbag points have increased by 50,000. That's what I was talking about. Lin Ye stuttered. So it's like that. Then why are you scolding me? What do you mean? Lin Ye turned her face to the side. Lin Xian didn't continue to banter with her. He then personally placed the experience fruit in front of Lin Ye's mouth. Lin Ye was very cooperative and opened her mouth to eat it. What is this? It tastes weird. So this is my big baby. Ding successfully made little big sister shy. Scumbag points plus 50,000. Lin Xian. Lin Ye angrily stared at Lin Xian. In the next second, she froze for a moment. Lin Xian also felt her aura change. His spiritual eye also noticed that Lin Ya's level had directly reached the Qi building stage 3. This was much better than taking the risk to farm monsters. She only lacked battle experience. However, her realm was already enough for Lin Ya. How did I level up? Lin Ya's face was filled with surprise. That's why I said it was a treasure. You didn't believe me, and even scolded me. Sigh. I feel wronged. Lin Xian sniffed at the side, looking like he was really wronged. Ding successfully made little big sister blame herself. Scumbag points plus 30,000. Damn. This is also possible. Making little big sister blame herself is also a scumbag's behavior? Okay, I misunderstood you. I thought it was. What was it? Lin Xian suddenly raised his head and asked. Lin Ya's face turned red again. Nothing. She turned her head and felt her face was burning. Ding successfully made little big sister shy. Scumbag points plus 10,000. Hee. Lin Xian then gave another experience fruit to Lin Ya. Eat this too. Lin Ya took a deep breath and looked at Lin Xian. She suspiciously asked, Little Xian, don't you need to kill monsters to level up? What did you give me to eat? How can I level up after eating it? Chapter 24. Regarding this system, Lin Xian hesitated whether or not to tell Lin Ya. But after thinking about it, he decided to tell her later. He then said, Don't worry about it for now. As long as you can level up, I'll tell you later. Seeing that Lin Xian didn't want to tell her, Lin Ya didn't ask. Then you. Lin Xian smiled as he pinched Lin Ya's face and said, Don't worry, I definitely won't let myself go hungry, right? Okay. After Lin Ya ate the second fruit, she reached the Qi building stage 5 star. Thinking about it, this scumbag system was like a cheat. Other people had to work themselves to death and worry about the risk of death in order to level up. But they didn't dare to fight high-level monsters, and only dared to fight low-level monsters. In the beginning, they even needed someone to carry them. Normal people would only reach the Qi building stage 5 star in their teens or 20s. But Lin Ya? With just 2 experience fruits, she reached the Qi building stage 5 star. Amazing, I feel like my body is filled with strength. Lin Ya exclaimed. Of course, a Qi building stage 5 star's pure strength is about the strength of 3 grown men. Lin Ya weighed the pot and said with surprise. Before I needed both hands to hold the pot. Seeing Lin Ya's happy expression, Lin Xian was also happy from the bottom of his heart. In the future, you take care of the family and I'll work hard. Let's live like this, hee. Lin Ya nodded. Okay. But then she suddenly thought of something and said, No, you have to think about finding a girlfriend first. Lin Xian laughed. What girlfriend? With such a beautiful fairy at home, I'd be an idiot to find a girlfriend. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Lin Ya was stunned for a moment, then said with a serious face, I'm your sister. How can you have such thoughts about me? Little Xian, you're wrong. It's not like you're my real sister. Lin Xian muttered. Lin Ya's delicate body slightly trembled this. Ha, I'm just kidding, but I won't abandon you. Little fairy, I'm going out to watch TV. Hurry up and cook, I'm starving. After speaking, Lin Xian walked out. Lin Ya didn't know why her face was burning, but she didn't know why. But she turned and went to cook. The next day, Lin Xian arrived at the Tianhua Academy. More accurately, he directly entered the Sky Martial Court and saw a few hundred people gathered in front of the elementary class building. From afar, Lin Xian could even see Chen Jie from the intermediate class staring at him. Lin Xian walked over nonchalantly. Would he dare to cause trouble in public? Xiao Lin Xian was here. And today, the Tianhua Academy, was that day the news of Lin Xian thrashing Wang Chao, tormenting Bai Yun Tao, and even throwing Chen Jie and the rest of the intermediate class students down the stairs had spread like wildfire across the entire Tianhua Academy's forum. If anyone didn't know Lin Xian before this, or if they only thought of him as a piece of trash, they would be called a lunatic now. Everyone, please sit according to your class. Xiao Lin Xian looked at Lin Xian and shouted. Then Lin Xian went to the 10th class. I haven't seen you for a night. Your skin is even fairer. Lin Xian said sweetly. Really? Yi asked in surprise. When she went home to wash up, she suddenly realized that she was even fairer than before. Lu Yufan had said it, but when Lin Xian said it today, she felt that it was true. Lin Xian nodded. Of course. My Yi's skin is fair and beautiful. Ding successfully teased Yi. Scumbag points plus 10,000. Go to hell. Who is yours? Yi rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Then Lin Xian looked at Lu Yufan. When Lu Yufan saw Lin Xian's gaze, he had a bad premonition. Big brother, I beg you to stop talking, Lu Yufan said helplessly to Lin Xian. No, I have to say this. I realized that your breasts have grown bigger, Lin Xian said seriously. Lu Yufan was stunned for a moment, then asked softly. You noticed it too? Last night, she felt a little itchy, and thought that it might be the second puberty. When she went home, she took a look. It wasn't obvious, but she felt that it had grown a little bigger. It seems so, but I have to try it myself. Ding successfully teased Lu Yufan. Scumbag points plus 10,000. Bastard. Big hooligan. Lu Yufan's face turned red. Then she quickly turned her head and ignored Lin Xian. Alright, quiet down. Especially the chattering in class 10. Xiao Runing said to the people in class 10. Lin Xian. Was he King talking about him? Everyone was in a bad mood. There was a goddess like Xiao Runing in front of him. And he still had the mood to chat with others? But when they saw that he was chatting with Yi and Lu Yufan, they understood. After all, they were also beauties. Today I have a total of 3 things to announce. First, in 3 days, there will be a martial arts competition between all 430 of you. Regardless of whether you are new or old. This is also an objective evaluation from our teachers. The top 10 will receive my autograph photo and other rewards. Wow. The audience cheered. Lin Xian. F***CK. This Xiao Runing was amazing. No wonder she was not only a goddess in Tianhua Academy, but also an excellent teacher. She knew how to use her advantages. This kind of reward was not something these fat otakus could accept. Wouldn't each of them fight like crazy? Indeed, this woman was a vixen. She could not be judged with common sense. In addition, the intermediate class will also have a martial arts competition. However, Lin Xian from beginner class 10 took the initiative to compete with the intermediate class. This is something that everyone should learn from. Lin Xian. T. Since when did he take the initiative to compete? Many of the intermediate class students who wanted to catch a glimpse of Xiao Runing's elegance were enraged when they heard this. Ha! Too arrogant. Is he looking down on the intermediate class? Lin Xian. That trash. Don't fall into my hands, I'll kill him. However, I heard that Lin Xian beat up class 1's Chinjia and the rest yesterday. Could he really be that good? That class 1's people did not even fight for real. They were just ambushed. How good can a beginner class newbie be? Lin Xian felt that Xiao Runing was purposely drawing hatred for him. F***CK. Xiao Runing then smirked and looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian, say a few words. So he's Lin Xian. I remember him. He's the confessional maniac. Yesterday, he even went to class 1 to confess to Wang Xintong. Bah. Let him come. He dares to challenge the intermediate class. Let's see if we don't smash his head. Idiot. For a moment, the attention of the 400 beginner class people and the surrounding intermediate class people were all focused on Lin Xian. Lin Xian slowly stood up, touched the tip of his nose and said, Actually, I don't have much to say. If I have to say it, it's that everyone here is trash. Everyone. Ding. Acting cool successfully. Scumbag man value plus 50,000. Ding. Successfully made 3 big sisters cry. Scumbag man value plus 30,000. F***CK your mother. Beat him up. Everyone beat him up. For a moment, Lin Xian felt countless killing intent. Xiao Runing did not expect Lin Xian to say such shocking words. She secretly admired him. This brat was amazing. At this time, Chen Jia brought a group of 5 intermediate class people over. He coldly looked at Lin Xian and said, Lin Xian, do you think you're very handsome? Actually, in the eyes of us intermediate class people, and even the beginner class people, you're just a clown. Chapter 25. It had to be said that Chen Jie's words echoed the thoughts of countless people. That's right, they were really unhappy. This Lin Xian was too pretentious. Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh when he saw Chen Jie. I say, yesterday you were thrown from the second floor. You weren't high enough, right? How can you still be here today? Chen Jie's face was filled with anger when he heard Lin Xian's words. He pointed at Lin Xian and said angrily, You Lin Xian are useless. What's there to pretend about? If I'm useless, then what are you if you were thrown down by a useless person? A brother among brothers? Lin Xian tilted his head and looked at him mockingly, then continued. I take back what I said just now. What I want to say is that you are all trash, and you don't even deserve to be trash. Chen Jie took a deep breath and tried to calm his anger. He pointed at Lin Xian and said angrily, If you have the guts, fight me one-on-one here today. Aren't you arrogant? Do you dare to accept? Finished speaking, he looked toward Xiao Runing and said, Teacher Xiao, please allow me to compete with Lin Xian. Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian and asked, What do you think? Lin Xian shrugged. I refuse. Lin Xian's words stunned everyone. The next second they burst into laughter. Ha ha ha. F***ck. I thought he was awesome. Ha ha ha. This Chen Jie immediately chickened out when he opened his mouth. No, I'm thinking, where does this kind of person get the courage to act pretentious? He's really a clown, ha ha ha. Chen Jie heard the laughter and sneered at Lin Xian. Lin Xian calmly waved his hand. No, you misunderstood. What I meant was that you don't have to fight alone. Everyone else can come at me together. Many people's expressions froze in the middle of their laughter. Did they hear wrongly? Lin Xian refused not because he did not dare to fight with Chen Jie, but because he wanted them to fight together? Wasn't this too arrogant? Not to mention them. Even Xiao Runing was stunned when she heard Lin Xian's words. Chen Jie was stunned on the spot for a moment. Then he raised his head and laughed loudly. Interesting. You're the most arrogant freshman I've ever seen in my life. Oh, is that so? I'm sorry, but you're not even worth mentioning in my eyes, Lin Xian said disdainfully. Humph. Chen Jie snorted coldly. And then he looked at Xiao Runing and said, Miss Xiao, since he has chosen to fight the 5 people behind me as well, what do you think? After all, he is your student. Xiao Runing's beautiful brows furrowed slightly. She hesitated for a moment before saying, Sure. She wanted to see where Lin Xian's confidence came from. Chen Jie was a Qi Building Realm 7 stars, and the 5 people behind him were Qi Building Realm 6 stars. Even if Lin Xian was an 8 stars, he would not be able to win without any martial arts techniques. The difference of 1 star in this realm was not that big, and could be made up with some techniques. Chen Jie heard that Xiao Runing had agreed, and then he sneered at Lin Xian. Although it's not a one-on-one victory, if you're the one who wants to die, then don't blame us. Brothers, let's go. The 5 people behind him smiled maliciously as they walked to Chen Jie's side. They were thrown down yesterday, and now it was time to wash away their shame. The others opened up an empty space for them. Smelly fish and rotten shrimp, 1 is the same as 6. Lin Xian cracked his neck, and the corner of his mouth rose slightly. You're courting death. Go. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The 5 figures rushed towards Lin Xian, and Chen Jie watched from the back. He felt that he did not even need to make a move. Bang! The first person, Lin Xian, punched out, and the 2 forces collided. The hair and clothes of the students closest to them fluttered. The moment the 2 forces collided, the second person rushed over, and Lin Xian directly punched out. What surprised everyone was that Lin Xian did not move an inch from the force of the 2 people. What the hell? The 2 people looked at each other, and then they increased their strength, and even the fire and metal elements appeared. But Lin Xian did not move an inch. Bang! In the next second, both of his fists were pushed forward, and the 2 people flew out like a pair of mandarin ducks with broken strings. They flew out, and not staggered backwards. Out of the 5 people, 2 fell down in an instant. One of the people who rushed to Lin Xian was stunned when he saw this scene. When he turned his head to look at Lin Xian, he found that Lin Xian was already in front of him, grinning at him. Bang! Before he could react, Lin Xian punched him in the chest, and he flew out like the other 2 people, holding his stomach and screaming in pain. This scene happened very quickly, and it only took about 3 seconds. In 3 seconds, Lin Xian defeated 3 people from the intermediate class. The people who did not know what was going on were dumbfounded. They were 6 stars, but Lin Xian was a new student in the beginner class, and Lin Xian's aura seemed to be stronger than their 6 stars. It's not difficult for an 8-star Qi-building realm to do this. They lost because they underestimated their opponent and did not use any martial arts techniques. Xiao Runing looked at the scene and muttered. The remaining 2 people who rushed over looked at each other, and then they condensed a strong force in their bodies. Vajra Fist. Nebula Fist. 2 rays of light, 1 gold and 1 blue, condensed from their bodies to their fists and rushed towards Lin Xian. Then let me see how strong you can become with martial arts techniques. Bang! This time, Lin Xian did not choose to retreat, and he still used 2 punches to block the attacks of 2 people. Xiao Runing's seductive eyes were fixed on the stage. A yellow rank 4-star martial skill can make up for a gap of more than 1 star at this stage. 2 Qi-building 6-star martial skills released at the same time. The combined power of 2 Qi-building 6-star martial artists exceeds an Qi-building 8-star martial artist. 4 fists collided, and the strong aura caused the nearest students to be thrown off their feet. The dust on the ground instantly spread, and they could not even see the situation of the 3 people in the dust. Chen Jia was shocked that Lin Xian defeated 3 people in an instant, and he was also shocked when he felt that Lin Xian had just reached the same 7-star Qi-building realm as him. But thinking about it, if he was only 7-star, then he had no chance of winning. At this moment, Lin Xian was pushed back a few steps by their strength, and he had to admit that there was still a gap between 8-star Qi-building realm and their martial arts techniques. But 2 seconds later, the crowd saw 2 figures flying out from the dust, and then heavily landing on the ground, groaning in pain. What? Everyone was puzzled. Why were the 2 of them sent flying by Lin Xian when they released their martial arts techniques? When the dust settled, Lin Xian stood there motionless like a mountain and provocatively waved at the remaining Chen Jia. Brother Jia, be careful, his strength suddenly increased. I don't know what martial arts technique it is. The person who fell on the ground clutched his chest and said in pain. It was not a martial arts technique, but Lin Xian increasing his strength to the 9th level of the Qi-building realm. They did not expect Lin Xian to have such a high realm, so they thought it was a martial arts technique. At this point, everyone was already flabbergasted. Although Lin Xian had not defeated the strongest Chen Jia, he had defeated 5 Qi-building realm 6-star Qi-building realm students in a short period of time, and they had also released their martial arts techniques. 1 against 5, he had already won. He was not pretending. He was really strong. Chapter 26. Chen Jia was also shocked. He originally thought that Lin Xian had thrown them down yesterday because they had not reacted in time and had only used a bit of their spiritual energy. If they could fight normally, they would have crushed Lin Xian. But now he felt that something was wrong. Something was very wrong. 1 versus 5. Defeating 5 Qi-building 6 stars. Even Chen Jia felt that he could do it, but it would not be as easy as Lin Xian. The corners of Xiao Runing's mouth curled up slightly. Others were not able to clearly feel it because their cultivation level was not high, but Xiao Runing was able to clearly feel it. Just a moment ago, Lin Xian had erupted with the strength of a 9th-star Qi-building realm cultivator. She was not sure whether Lin Xian had released the strength of a 9th-star Qi-building realm cultivator, or if he had used a martial skill to reach the 9th-star Qi-building realm. But what she was sure of was that the strength he had just displayed had indeed reached the 9th-star level. You're the only one left. Lin Xian stood there like a god of war, unmoving like a mountain. In an instant, in the eyes of others, Lin Xian had become an expert. His aura, confidence, and other aspects completely suppressed Chen Jia, who was ranked 30th in the intermediate class. Chen Jia clenched his fists, his eyes bloodshot as he glared at Lin Xian. He had been humiliated. He had been humiliated by a newcomer from the beginner class. He was ranked 30th in the intermediate class, a 7 stars Qi-building realm. With the support of a martial technique, He could even defeat an 8 stars chi-building realm. Thinking of this, he was filled with confidence. How high could Lin Xian's realm be? It could only be the support of a martial technique. If his realm was really high, why did he only enter the Sky Martial Court now? Thinking of this, he felt that there was nothing wrong. Lin Xian, they are just the lowest ranked martial artists in the intermediate class. And I am ranked 30th in the intermediate class. Don't think that you can defeat me just because you defeated them. You're thinking too much. Lin Xian's expression was calm as he said slowly, All right, stop talking nonsense. Are you going to fight or not? You're courting death. Chen Jie's eyes narrowed as he dashed towards Lin Xian. At the same time, his right fist emitted a red glow and emitted a scorching heat wave. As he ran, flames appeared on his right fist and drifted with the wind. Flaming fist. Everyone was slightly surprised. That's a 6-star yellow-ranked skill flame fist. Oh my god! With Chen Jie's realm, Lin Xian definitely won't be able to withstand his flaming fist. I didn't expect Chen Jie to value Lin Xian so much that he would use such a move in his first move. Although Lin Xian is indeed quite surprising, the power of this move will be very strong. Look, Lin Xian isn't even planning on running. TSK. The run-up will increase the inertia of the attack. If he punches on the spot, he will definitely be sent flying. Pretend. The last person's mouth was already agape before he could finish his sentence. Bang! That's right. Lin Xian punched on the spot. But the expected scene of Lin Xian being sent flying did not happen. The two fists collided, and flames were released from Chen Jie's fist, enveloping Lin Xian completely. Chen Jie's mouth twitched when he saw this scene. He was courting death. Even if Lin Xian blocked this punch, the flames would definitely make him lose his ability to fight. But in the next moment his pupils constricted. Lin Xian did not move, but a surge of internal energy surged out from Lin Xian's fist. Bang! Everyone's jaws dropped as they stared in shock. Chen Jie's body flew out and landed heavily on the ground, and the flames on Lin Xian's body were instantly extinguished by a surge of energy. Pooh! After landing, Chen Jie spat out a mouthful of blood. How could it be? How could his strength be so strong? Chi-building realm 9 stars. Was that really the strength of a chi-building realm 9 stars? Or where did it come from? However, to be able to defeat his attack in an instant, it had to be a chi-building realm 9 star. He was a chi-building realm 9 star? How was this possible? He was a newbie who had just entered the Sky Martial Court's beginner class. A chi-building realm 9 star was definitely in the top 10 of the intermediate class. It was over. The moment he flew in the air, he knew that he had been completely trampled under the feet of a clown. The surroundings were extremely quiet. 3 seconds later. Wow! Thunderous applause. Although many people in the beginner class did not like Lin Xian, they had to admit that they admired him for what he had done. There was a reason why he had said that he would compete with the intermediate class, and that was because he had the ability to do so. Ding! Acting cool successful, scumbag points plus 10,000. Ding! Successfully made 5 sisters cry of their handsomeness, scumbag points plus 200,000. Ding! Feeling adoration from 13 sisters, scumbag points plus 150,000. The system's voice exploded in Lin Xian's mind. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. If it was not for these scumbag points, why would he come out and act cool? Lin Xian is so strong. On the other side, the 2 girls who were prejudiced against Lin Xian were shocked. They knew that Lin Xian was strong, otherwise he would not have been able to defeat Bai Yuntao, Chen Xiang, and the others. However, they had not expected that Lin Xian would be able to defeat all 6 of them at once. And all of them were from the intermediate class. It was truly shocking. Why, yes, he's quite strong. Yi muttered to herself. Then she realized something and blushed. She quickly said, What does his strength have to do with me? That's right. Compared to Qin Xiaotian, he is still far behind. Qin Xiaotian alone can defeat dozens of people, no, 100 from the intermediate class. When he comes, let's see how he will beat up Lin Xian. Humph. Lu Yufan shook her fist. On the other side, Lin Xian withdrew his aura and coldly glanced at Chen Jie. He said, Then I'll have to trouble you to go back and tell the intermediate class that 3 days later, I, Lin Xian, will challenge them as a beginner class student." Finished speaking, he grinned and looked at Xiao Runing and said, "Teacher Xiao, it's not bad, right? I didn't lose face for you. Where's your autograph?" Xiao Runing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian and said, "Let's talk about it after you defeat the intermediate class. Go back first." Okay. Chen Jia and the others climbed to their feet in a sorry state. They resentfully glared at Lin Xian before walking back to their seats. Then, Xiao Runing glanced at the crowd and said, "As you all saw, the beginner class is not inferior to the intermediate class. What I want to tell you is that as long as you are willing to work hard, you will become strong. Now I'll announce the second thing. From now on, the new students of the Sky Martial Court will undergo 7 days of intensive training, excluding the competition 3 days later. In these 7 days, you will experience at least 300 virtual battles and learn martial skills. During these 7 days, you will not be allowed to eat, rest, or go to the bathroom. I'll strive to make you grow from a novice to 30% in these 7 days." Wah! Hearing Xiao Runing's words, the crowd wailed. This was too cruel. This was too cruel. Although they could eat and go to the bathroom much less as martial artists, and Qi building stage 5 stars would not feel hungry even if they did not eat for a day. But this was too cruel. Without waiting for everyone to finish wailing, Xiao Runing continued. "The third thing is, after 7 days, I will personally take you out of Tianhua City and into the demonic beast domain to engage in actual combat with the real demonic beasts. If any of you relax your vigilance during these 7 days, then after 7 days, you can only blame yourselves if you die outside." Chapter 27. Whoosh! The crowd burst into an uproar when they heard Xiao Runing's words. In the current era, the city was the safest place to be. Outside the city was the domain of demonic beasts. There were all kinds of demonic beasts. However, demonic beasts outside the city were the only way for cultivators to raise their cultivation. The awkward part was that it was too dangerous, especially for people like them, who did not have much combat experience, and whose cultivation was not high. If they wanted to go out and raise their cultivation, they would need someone to bring them along. This was why the Bounty Hunter Guild was so important. As one of the 3 major forces in the Sky Martial continent, the Bounty Hunter Guild was not only responsible for completing missions, but they could also give cultivators money to bring them along if they wanted to raise their cultivation. However, they would usually only bring the weakest cultivators. Fortunately, Wang Fugui had money, otherwise he might have been killed outside. The level of danger outside was so high that very few people dared to go out. Going out was like a demonic beast walking into a human's territory. It was the same logic. Everyone present must have been to the outside world before. Almost all of them had paid the Bounty Hunter Guild's experts to bring them out, and then raised their cultivation to Qi building stage 5 stars. However, no matter how many times they went out, they must have been very scared and excited. Xiao Runing continued. "Those who do not want to go out before tomorrow, come register with me. Now, all the new students of the Sky Martial Court, come with me to choose a martial technique." After that, more than 200 people followed Xiao Runing and entered a very large hall in the Sky Martial Court. Lin Xian had already noticed this place, but he had never been here before. There were many students in the hall, and there were even some from the advanced class. The hall was so big that it was like a waiting room in a train station. It was not crowded at all when a few hundred people entered. Xiao Runing turned to look at the crowd and said, "Ordinary martial techniques only require memory transfer. It will take less than 10 seconds. Now, each of you can choose a martial technique that suits you the most. After that, we will conduct a virtual battle. After you are familiar with the martial technique, we will bring you to learn the second martial technique. Now, each of you can go and collect a martial technique chip to exchange for a martial technique." Okay. After that, the crowd dispersed excitedly. Martial techniques. So cool. This was what they had been looking forward to the most before they entered the Sky Martial Court. Lin Xian also went to look for the martial techniques he wanted. The martial techniques here were stored in machines, It was like buying water from a self-service store. Standing on top of the machine and inserting a martial technique chip into it, one could choose a martial technique to learn. After choosing, standing on top of the machine, the method of using the martial technique would directly enter one's mind. Then one could use it. For every type of attribute martial skill, there were also non-attribute martial skills. However, there were not many people with non-attribute martial skills. It was completely empty. The skills here weren't strong. The strongest was only a 3-star yellow rank. After all, powerful skills weren't common, and these were all common skills. When Xiao Runing saw Lin Xian standing alone in the attribute-less martial skill area, she was also slightly taken aback. Attribute-less martial techniques were definitely weaker than those with attributes. However, she suddenly recalled that Lin Xian's previous assessment did not detect any attributes. Could it be that he really did not have any attributes? If that was the case, it would be too much of a pity. Lin Xian inserted a martial technique chip into the machine and began to flip through the martial techniques. The grade and effects of the martial techniques were all recorded. It was not bad. At least there were non-attribute martial techniques. You really don't have any attributes? Xiao Runing walked over and asked. Lin Xian turned to look at Xiao Runing and nodded. Of course. Why don't I choose the non-attribute martial technique? After that, Lin Xian selected the 3-star yellow rank martial technique, Heavenly Star Fist. Shua. A ray of light enveloped Lin Xian, and at the same time, a memory entered his mind. Ding, learning martial technique, Heavenly Star Fist. Ding. You have successfully learned the martial technique, Heavenly Star Fist. Heavenly Star Fist. Grade, 3-star yellow rank, Spirit Force cost, 20. Non-attribute martial technique. Infuses spirit force into any fist and punches out. Increases strength by 20%. Heavenly Star Fist, 3-star yellow rank. This punch could increase strength by 20%, which was not bad. However, Lin Xian suddenly wanted to see the effects of the 5 Thunder Constellation. 5 Thunder Constellation. Grade, 8-star Earth rank, Spirit Force cost, 300. Lightning attribute martial technique. Uses the power of lightning to destroy the enemy in an instant. The violent power of lightning is unstoppable. Maximum release range 20 meters. Deals 300% of the user's lightning damage. The smaller the range, the more concentrated the lightning is. Maximum damage is 600%. Lin Xian. Really, there was no damage without comparison. 5 Thunder Constellation was a true martial technique. It was a pity that he did not have the lightning attribute. F***CK. Heavenly Star Fist? That's not bad. Xiao Runing said in a soft voice. Lin Xian turned around and said to Xiao Runing with a bitter smile. But Miss Xiao, you've really screwed me over today. Me? How did I screw you over? Xiao Runing was stunned. Lin Xian suddenly grinned. You've made me like you even more. Ding successfully teased Xiao Runing. Scumman points plus 10,000. Mission progress, 50%. Xiao Runing was taken aback for a moment. Then she clenched her teeth slightly. This Lin Xian, he never forgot to tease her. Ha ha ha. Seeing Xiao Runing's expression, Lin Xian felt especially good. Who told her to always make things difficult for him? Xiao Runing then crossed her arms and looked at Lin Xian with interest and said, I'll let you be arrogant for now. In the future, there will be plenty of chances to deal with you. Just wait for your death. After saying this, she arrogantly walked away. Che. Lin Xian did not believe that this Xiao Runing could do anything to him. Now that he had a martial technique, all that was left was the virtual battle. The virtual battle had different levels. Every person would record their data. Starting from the first level. The first level was a 1-star chi building stage beast. After defeating it, he could enter the next level. It was just like playing a game. For 3 whole days, Lin Xian was immersed in the virtual battle simulator. Other people at most reached the 46th level in these 3 days. Some did not even reach the 46th level, and had to try a dozen times. But Lin Xian? He directly rushed to the 81st level. Even the teachers in charge of the virtual battle were shocked. The 61st level was an 8-star chi building stage beast. And today, Lin Xian's harvest was too much. He recognized more than 10 types of beasts. He knew what their martial techniques were, what their characteristics were, and whether they were strong or weak. In these 3 days, he did not focus too much on the scum man system. Instead, he focused on increasing his experience and fighting ability. But in these 3 days, with the help of the experience fruit, he also reached the 4-star spirit condensation stage. Lin Xian sat up on the battle platform. The surrounding people looked at him as if he was a monster. This was the beginner class. What a joke. 81st level, not bad. Lin Xian got off the battle platform with satisfaction and opened up his attributes. Chapter 28. Name: Lin Xian. Age: 21. Realm: Spirit Condensation 4 stars. Level: 14. Experience points: 3000600. Scumbag value: 41800. Strength: 177. Vitality: 176. Agility: 175. Spirit: 175. Spiritual energy: 650. Talent: Imperial Medical Sacred Technique. Martial skills: Spiritual Eye, 5 Thunder Constellation, Cosmic Fist, Chi Condensation Strike, Swift Shadow. His overall attributes were pretty good. According to Lin Xian's investigation of the attributes of other people in lower realms, he felt that his own attributes were only average and not much stronger. The most important thing was that Lin Xian could increase his realm without killing monsters. Moreover, the system could give him many unimaginable things, such as that doll. Thinking about that doll, Lin Xian felt that it was a shadow that he could not get rid of. It made him not dare to continue spinning the wheel. However, the 5 Thunder Constellation was indeed a powerful martial skill, but not being able to use it was the most uncomfortable thing. As for Chi Condensation Strike and Swift Shadow, they were the 2 martial skills that Lin Xian learned. Chi Condensation Strike condensed spiritual energy and released it to achieve the effect of a long-range attack. The damage was also increased by 20%. Swift Shadow was a movement technique that could increase Lin Xian's speed by 30%. It consumed spiritual energy every second. Although these 3 martial skills were not powerful, they made up for many of Lin Xian's shortcomings. It had to be said that Lin Xian had done a very good job in choosing martial skills. Xiao Runing also admired him because of the 3 martial skills he had chosen. Close combat, long range, and speed were all included. Today was a very important day. The beginner and intermediate classes were going to compete. The beginner class competition had already begun, and Lin Xian was rushing to the intermediate class. There were other teachers in the beginner class recording. To Xiao Runing, she was more concerned about Lin Xian's battle. He's coming, he's coming. There were more than 200 people in the intermediate class in the martial arts arena. However, they had yet to start fighting. They were all waiting for Lin Xian. It wasn't that Lin Xian had a lot of cards up his sleeves, but they were too lazy to fight. They were too lazy to get into the top 10. They were all waiting because they wanted to beat Lin Xian up to vent their anger. Lin Xian had become a hot topic in the Sky Martial Court for the past few days. The students in the forum were all talking about him because he was too high profile. Especially when Lin Xian defeated all 6 of Chen Jia and the others by himself. It shocked everyone in the intermediate class even more. They knew that Lin Xian was strong, but even if they did not want to compete, they wanted to watch Lin Xian. When Lin Xian walked over, more than 200 pairs of eyes looked at him. Hey, everyone's waiting. Lin Xian grinned at the crowd, revealing a harmless expression. Lin Xian, we're waiting to beat you up. Let's draw. Right. Draw, let's compete. I'm going to smash your dog head. Lin Xian quickly waved his hand. Alright. The one who said he would smash my head, come out. Let's spar and see if you're all-mouthy king or something. Then no one came out. After all, they were sure that Lin Xian had won against 6. They did not have the confidence to fight against Lin Xian. Tisk, no one wants to talk? Lin Xian sneered. His words made the entire intermediate class fall silent. Xiao Runing secretly rubbed her forehead. This Lin Xian is amazing. No one spoke. Then Lin Xian shouted, has anyone seen my girlfriend? How the F***ck, do we know who your girlfriend is? Someone shouted. Wang Xintong. Xintong, where are you? Everyone. Ding. Successfully molested Wang Xintong. Scumbag points plus 10,000. Mission progress, 20%. In the crowd, Wang Xintong was stunned for a moment. Seeing everyone's gaze, she walked out and said to Lin Xian, Student Lin Xian, please don't speak nonsense. Successfully molesting her once was enough. At this time, a man walked out with a gloomy face. He pointed at Lin Xian and shouted, Lin Xian, you can challenge my intermediate class, but please don't speak nonsense, okay? You are? Wang Ming, ranked 9th in the intermediate class. Wang Ming coldly glanced at Lin Xian. This Wang Xintong was the target of his pursuit. How could he let Lin Xian sully her? His spiritual eye swept over him. Qi building 8 stars. This was a bit interesting. Lin Xian shrugged. Then, Wang Ming looked at Xiao Runing and said, Miss Xiao, can we draw lots? Right now, he wanted nothing more than to directly draw Lin Xian and beat him into a pig's head. Otherwise, it would be difficult to vent the anger in his heart. Yesterday he heard someone say that Lin Xian ran to the side and molested Wang Xintong. How could the woman he had his eyes on be trash? How could a trash who had just entered the beginner class tease her? Yes, when everyone heard that the competition was about to begin, they immediately became excited. Now it wasn't for the rankings. They only wanted to see the scene of Lin Xian being hammered to vent their anger. Wait, Miss Xiao. Lin Xian suddenly shouted. Is there something else? Xiao Runing and the rest of the intermediate class students looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and said, I think that the drawing of lots is too slow. How about this? I'll fight in the arena. You can send anyone to challenge me until no one else comes up. How about that? Originally, Xiao Runing wanted him to take first place. The drawing of lots would take a lot of time. But this way, it would be over and done with. It would save a lot of trouble. Everyone. Hearing Lin Xian's words, everyone was shocked. What the F***ck? Too arrogant. No, this couldn't be called arrogant anymore. He wasn't treating them like humans at all. Xiao Runing was also slightly stunned. She was also shocked by Lin Xian's request. Because if Lin Xian wanted to be the champion of the arena, it would be a tag team battle. Moreover, he would be challenged by all the strongest people in the intermediate class. This not far away, a girl was leaning against a tree with a lollipop in her mouth. When she heard Lin Xian's words, she took out the lollipop. The corners of her lips curled up slightly, revealing an evil charm that shouldn't appear on a girl's face. How interesting. It's been many years since such an interesting young man appeared in the Sky Martial Court. Wang Ming then pointed at Lin Xian and said angrily, Lin Xian, don't be too arrogant. That's right. You're not treating us like humans at all. Lin Xian shrugged and said, I just think that all of you don't like me and want to beat me up, right? I'll give you a chance. I'll give it to everyone. Isn't that good? Everyone in the intermediate class gnashed their teeth. Fine. Then I'll be the first to challenge you. I'll make you kneel on the ground. This way it won't be tag team battle. I'll make you accept your defeat wholeheartedly. Wang Ming pointed at Lin Xian and said angrily. Lin Xian then looked at Xiao Runing and said, Miss Xiao, since they've agreed, you can say the word. All right. The rules of the intermediate class competition today will be changed to a tag team battle. As the champion of the arena, Lin Xian will accept any challenge from all the challengers in the intermediate class. If Lin Xian defeats all the challengers, he will be the champion. Now Lin Xian, please move to the arena and accept the challenge of the first challenger from the intermediate class. Chapter 29. This matter instantly fermented, causing those in the beginner class to rush over to the intermediate class area to watch the match, even those who had finished their match after a long time. Many people from the advanced class came to watch the competition when they heard about it. After all, nothing like this had ever happened since the establishment of the Sky Martial Court. What was supposed to be a martial arts competition had now become a competition to challenge Lin Xian. Who could withstand such a blow? Lin Xian stood on the battle stage and scanned the hundreds of people. Turtles, this was quite exaggerated. Who's first? Lin Xian asked. I'll go first. Wang Ming, who had long been unhappy with Lin Xian, snorted. He was at the Qi Building 8 stars, but his battle strength was very strong. He was the only one in the intermediate class who was at the Qi Building 8 stars. In the eyes of others, if Wang Ming advanced to the Qi Building 9 stars, he would be able to enter the top 3 of the intermediate class. Therefore, everyone was looking forward to seeing Lin Xian being beaten up by Wang Ming. For Wang Ming, besides being unhappy with Lin Xian, he also wanted to beat up this person who had taken liberties with him in front of Wang Xintong. This way, not only would he gain the recognition of the people in the academy, he would also gain the favor of Wang Xintong. This was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Go Senior Wang Ming. Beat up Lin Xian. Let's see how arrogant he can be. Beat him to death. For the dignity of the intermediate class. In an instant, the students from the intermediate class became impassioned, causing Lin Xian to feel a little scared. Wang Ming slowly walked up under everyone's gaze, as if he was shouldering a great responsibility. He also looked very confident. Standing in front of Lin Xian, Wang Ming coldly glanced at him. Then, his aura fluctuated slightly as he slowly said, "Your biggest mistake was coming to the intermediate class to act like a B** starred. I will make you the laughing stock of the entire Tianhua Academy." "Is that so?" Lin Xian grinned and said. "What if you lose? Won't you become the laughing stock of the entire Tianhua Academy?" "I lose. I will lose. Ha ha ha." Wang Ming laughed loudly. The crowd did not think that Wang Ming would lose. Compared to Chen Jia, Wang Ming was stronger by more than 1 level. That was not only because he was in the first stage, but also because they knew that the reason why Wang Ming was able to rank in the top 10 of the intermediate class, when he was in the Qi Building realm, was because he was born in a martial arts family. He had been practicing martial arts since he was a child, so he was much stronger than the others in terms of combat. This is also his advantage. After laughing, Wang Ming pointed a finger at Lin Xian and said confidently, "You'll be utterly defeated within 10 moves. Wow. Senior Wang Ming is so handsome. Go. Senior brother Wang Ming, I love you." Hearing Wang Ming's domineering words, a lot of girls screamed from below, and he enjoyed it very much. The corner of Lin Xian's mouth curled up as he stretched out his index finger and said, "One move." Everyone to be had been a Lin Tianhua Academy. What? Did they hear wrongly? This Lin Xian actually dared to boast that he could finish off Wang Ming in 1 move? That was too funny. Wang Ming also laughed loudly. He looked at Lin Xian and said disdainfully, "Then I want to see how you will defeat me in 1 move." Whoosh! A powerful force exploded from his body. Begin! Whoosh whoosh! Lin Xian and Wang Ming moved at the same time. Rapid shadow. Cosmic fist. Bang! The next scene froze the smiles on many people's faces. The 2 of them had only exchanged a single punch, but Wang Ming had been sent flying. He had flown more than 10 meters away, and had landed heavily on the martial arts stage. This was it really just 1 move. Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned. Wang Xintong's little face was also full of surprise. Xiao Runing seemed to have some understanding of Lin Xian. Her face was calm, but the girl in the distance raised her eyebrows. 9 stars of the Qi Building realm. Using speed to increase, the power of the martial technique to explode out instantly sent Wang Ming, who was so arrogant that he didn't even use martial techniques, flying. Interesting. Beginner class. 9 stars of the Qi Building realm. TSK. A playful smile appeared on her beautiful face. So weak. Lin Xian's indifferent words were like a 1,000-pound hammer that smashed into Wang Ming's heart, who had just gotten up from the ground. It also rendered the hundreds of people who had just mocked Lin Xian speechless. Lin Xian wins. Xiao Runing, who was not far away, said a sentence. Wait. Wang Ming gritted his teeth and looked at Xiao Runing, unwilling to give up. Miss Xiao, I wasn't prepared. I didn't even use my martial technique. Otherwise I wouldn't have lost. Please give me another chance. Xiao Runing's face revealed indifference. In front of the school's teachers and students, she had this kind of temperament, but in front of Lin Xian, she had the temperament of a fairy. Xiao Runing's voice was emotionless, as if she was disappointed. Then she said coldly, There's no room for regret in a martial arts competition. If this was a battlefield, you would already be a corpse. Next. Unresigned. Wang Ming was really unresigned. Why? Why didn't he think that Lin Xian had the power of 9 stars of the Qi-building realm? Why couldn't he use martial techniques? At this moment, he thought of his previous high-spirited self and looked at himself now. He was like a clown. Yes, in the eyes of the crowd, Wang Ming really was like a clown. But Lin Xian, he did it. He really beat Wang Ming with one move. Anyone else? Lin Xian glanced at the crowd and said, "I'll go." A man walked up in front of everyone's eyes. He was very handsome. He was even 1.9 meters tall and had a good figure. Jiang Bei, ranked 5th in the intermediate class. Great, with him here, I can finally vent my anger. This Jiang Bei is so much stronger than Wang Ming. Lin Xian has the advantage of a higher realm, but at the same realm, he is definitely not Jiang Bei's opponent. Lin Xian looked at Jiang Bei in front of him. His aura fluctuated slightly, and then he said indifferently, "One move. Everyone." Ding. Acting cool successful. Mental damage multiplied. Scumbag value plus 50,000. F***CK your mother. This Lin Xian is too pretentious. This is Jiang Bei. F***CK. F***CK. Kill him. Qi building realm 9 stars. This Lin Xian can defeat Wang Ming in one move. But at the same realm, even if it's the same as before, he can't defeat Jiang Bei in one move. Wait for your face to be slapped. I'm the 5th strongest in the intermediate class. How can a beginner like you defeat me in one move? Unknowingly, many people no longer considered whether Lin Xian was Jiang Bei's opponent. Instead, they considered whether Lin Xian could defeat Jiang Bei in one move. This changed the nature of the discussion. Jiang Bei was slightly stunned by Lin Xian's words, and then his eyes narrowed. Lin Xian, you better take back what you just said. Take back? I think it's fine, but it's not necessary. Everyone. Good, very good. Jiang Bei's face darkened. Then, his spiritual energy surged, and a gust of wind emerged. The wind attribute was a rare attribute. Lin Xian twisted his neck, and his aura also erupted. Qi building realm 9 stars. It was clear that Jiang Bei was also in the Qi building realm, and he was not careless. In this situation, in everyone's eyes, it was impossible to defeat him in one move. Whoosh, the two moved at the same time. Similar to the previous scene, Jiang Bei's speed was extremely fast. Boom! The two forces collided again. Oh my god! Everyone's jaws dropped. Next, Lin Xian's voice reverberated in everyone's ears like a violent blow. Chapter 30. Everything happened too quickly, and no one could react in time. They couldn't understand why Jiang Bei had released a martial skill and the power of wind. Moreover, both of them were at the same level. So why was he still punched out of the stage by Lin Xian? Jiang Bei crawled up from the ground. His heart was filled with shock. What was going on? How could Lin Xian's power reach such a terrifying level, even though he was at the 9th star of the Qi building realm? It definitely exceeded the 9th star, maybe even the 10th star. But the power he released was at the 9th star level. Jiang Bei really couldn't understand. Was it because of some kind of martial technique? If he had known this would happen, he wouldn't have gone up. Was it to embarrass himself? But it was too late. Lin Xian sent Wang Ming flying with a single punch. Maybe Wang Ming underestimated him, because he didn't even have time to use his martial technique. But what about Lin Xian, who sent Jiang Bei flying with a single punch? Jiang Bei had used all his martial techniques and spiritual energy, but he was still defeated in one move. What did that mean? It meant that Lin Xian was really powerful. If he could defeat the 5th-ranked master of the intermediate class in one move, then even if the intermediate class's first opponent wasn't defeated in one move, how could he win against Lin Xian? But why was Lin Xian able to release such power, even though he was at the 9th star level? That was the first thing he used, the attribute exchange in the system store, to increase his power by 100%. Even if he used the 9th star of the Qi building realm, it was enough to send Jiang Bei flying. Xiao Runing was also puzzled by this scene. Why was it like this? That punch was indeed at the 9th star of the Qi building realm. But it shouldn't have been able to defeat Jiang Bei like this. But if Lin Xian was at a higher level, it didn't make sense for him to only release the 9th star of the Qi building realm, but use the 10th star of the Qi building realm, or even higher. He was able to do it in the machine test, because Lin Xian wasn't affected by any external force, so he could focus on two things at once. But in this kind of battle, it was impossible for him to separate the two. Either he released a stronger power, or he had to show a higher level of power. Xiao Runing did not understand. She really didn't know what secrets Lin Xian was hiding, but it made her even more interested in Lin Xian. Ding successfully gained the favor of 31 young ladies. Scumbag value plus 50,000. At this moment, many of the girls who were previously unhappy with Lin Xian were now looking at him, as if they were looking at a god. On planet Aqua Blue, there was only one rule, and that was that the strong were respected. The bigger the fist, the bigger the argument, the bigger the fist, the bigger the respect. Without a doubt, Lin Xian's image in everyone's minds had been completely overturned. Previously, he was just a trash that no one paid attention to. Now he was able to defeat a Qi building realm 9 star, the 5th strongest in the intermediate class. In other words, as a new student of the Sky Martial Court, Lin Xian had the strength to dominate the intermediate class. Next one, come on. Lin Xian stood on the stage and looked at the people below, as if nothing had happened. He was getting a little bored from waiting. Who would dare to go up? Wasn't this courting death? Qin Feng, you go up. Go and take down this bastard's arrogance. That's right. As the number 1 expert in the intermediate class, you definitely have the strength to do so. We can't lose the face of the intermediate class. If we lose, we won't be able to hold our heads up high. A man in front of the crowd laughed bitterly. He, Qin Feng, was indeed the number 1 expert in the intermediate class. However, he was only a Qi building realm 9 star. Even if he was slightly stronger than Jiang Bei, he knew that he would not be able to defeat Jiang Bei in a single move. How about this? Didn't you lose to the 5th? Then let's have the top 4 come at me together, Lin Xian said helplessly as he waved his hand. Ding. Acting cool successful. Scumbag value plus 20,000. Everyone's jaws dropped when they heard Lin Xian's words. This guy was too arrogant. Even the people in the advanced class wouldn't dare to say that they would fight the top 4 of the intermediate class. But Lin Xian, the top 4 of the intermediate class, happened to be standing together. They looked at each other. Even if they were in the Qi building realm 10 star, it was still impossible for one person to fight 4 Qi building realm 9 star. But to fight or not to fight? If they fought, they were confident that they could beat up Lin Xian. But if they fought, even if they defeated Lin Xian together, it would still be a slap to their own face. Lin Xian would be defeated with honor. This made them extremely conflicted. Lin Xian looked down with an expression of disbelief. No way. You guys don't dare to come up when I let you fight 4 against 1? Fine. Let's have the top 10 come up together. Is this good enough? Everyone. Qin Feng pointed at Lin Xian and said loudly, Lin Xian, maybe you have some spirit weapon or secret technique that can increase your strength and let your strength surpass the Qi building realm 9 star for a short period of time. But if you want to fight 1 against 10, that's impossible. Young people should know their limits. It's not good to overdo it. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders and said, Then why don't you guys come up? I'll give you a chance to beat me up 10 against 1. Either come up or admit defeat. Right now, I'm the number 1 of the intermediate class. F*CK. He was F*King crazy. He's not treating the intermediate class as people. Beat him up. Fuck, even if 10 against 1 hurts our face, we still have to beat him up. F*CK. Qin Feng, Jiang Bei, Zhu Xiao, you guys go. Beat this Lin Xian up. For the dignity of the intermediate class. Everyone heard Lin Xian's words and couldn't take it anymore. They shouted at the top 10 of the intermediate class. Those experts looked at each other, and finally looked at Xiao Runing. Xiao Runing said indifferently, As long as it doesn't kill or injure the opponent, you guys are free to fight. That's good. Today Qin Feng will be shameless. Even if I have to use numbers to bully you, I'll beat your arrogance today. After saying that, Qin Feng jumped onto the stage. Then I'll go too. Do you think I'll let you act like AB asterisk starred? Another figure jumped onto the stage. Then, under everyone's gaze, they all walked onto the stage one by one. Yi Yi and Lu Yufan had just finished their match and came over. Suddenly, they saw Lin Xian going up against 10 people. The two of them were stunned. What was this situation? When did this new method come out? Let's see what kind of confidence you have. Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian on the stage with interest. In the distance, a woman in a white dress slowly walked over. What are you looking at? She didn't even look at the seductive woman. Instead, she looked at the intermediate class arena and said expressionlessly. The seductive woman who had been watching Lin Xian from afar smiled and said, "What an interesting little brother from the intermediate class. If he wins today, the Sky Martial Court will change. It's a pity that I can't see his face clearly, because he's too far away. He should be quite handsome." 1 against 10? The woman in the white dress looked forward with interest. Chapter 31. Lin Xian faced off against the top 10 of the intermediate class. Do you mind if I join in? A quiet voice suddenly sounded from the side. Everyone looked over and saw that it was Wang Xintong. Lin Xian froze. This girl also wanted to join in? No, fists and feet have no eyes. I can't bear to fight you. Lin Xian grinned at Wang Xintong. Ding. Successfully teased Wang Xintong. Scumbag points plus 10,000. Mission progress 30%. Wang Xintong blushed and said, "No, I just feel that fighting with strong people will help me improve a lot." As she spoke, she walked up and released her aura. Chi building realm 8 stars. This quiet and gentle-looking Wang Xintong was actually a hidden expert. Lin Xian also had a whole new level of respect for her. "If you're willing, then join us," Lin Xian said nonchalantly. So from now on, Lin Xian was fighting 1 against 11. Now, let the battle begin. As Xiao Runing's voice fell, the 11 people all moved. They almost didn't communicate, as they surrounded Lin Xian in a circle. This was also normal because normally speaking, this would limit Lin Xian's range of movement. And what he needed to deal with were opponents that came from all directions. Do you know why I'm not panicking? Lin Xian's lips curled up and he continued. That's because fighting 1 is the same as fighting 10. It's just that you have to use a few more moves. Whoosh! The moment he finished speaking, Lin Xian moved. He had another advantage, and that was his high level. His spiritual energy value was enough for him to use many martial arts techniques, especially small-scale martial arts techniques like this. Boom! Lin Xian's first target was the one who annoyed him the most, Wang Ming. Wang Ming was ranked 9th. He could have refused to come up again, but he felt that if he came up again, he could beat up Lin Xian. If he could beat him up, then he could at least regain some of the face he lost. However, he looked at Lin Xian in a daze. Why the F***ck is this guy looking for me for the first punch? Earth wall! Whoosh! An earth wall suddenly condensed in front of Wang Ming. And then boom! Lin Xian rushed over and directly smashed the earth wall without any fancy moves, then followed up with a punch. Wang Ming flew out of the stage for the second time. F***ck. That's too fierce. Everyone's jaws dropped. This earth attribute mud wall was a very strong defensive martial skill. How could it be shattered with a single punch? More importantly, he was able to send Wang Ming flying with just his remaining strength. It felt like Lin Xian was a boss, and these 11 people were fighting a boss. Moreover, Lin Xian was a very powerful boss. It was as if the moment Lin Xian touched them, the game would be over. Vine forest. Whoosh! The entire stage was instantly covered by vines. Countless vines rushed toward Lin Xian and bound him in an instant. This is a good chance. Everyone attack. Seeing that Lin Xian was bound, everyone quickly gathered their strength and rushed forward like crazy. Rip! In the next second, Lin Xian broke the vines with absolute strength. This exchange attribute agility. Lin Xian realized that it was not enough to just exchange for strength. He also needed to have enough agility. He did not want to expose too much of his strength, and even more so, he could not reveal his true realm. If he released his true strength, these 11 people would have already gone down. Whoosh! His speed suddenly doubled, and this increase in speed made everyone unable to keep up with it. Hello! Lin Xian suddenly appeared behind a man. He reacted quickly and turned around to punch, but it was still too late. Lin Xian kicked him out of the stage. How is he so fast? Does he have a wind attribute? Everyone was stunned. No, he hasn't shown what attribute he has yet. I remember there was a rumor that Lin Xian had no attributes in the assessment. Is that true or false? This was because Lin Xian's speed was beyond their expectations. Wang Xintong wanted to fight Lin Xian, but he realized that he could not even catch up to him. Run again. Bind. An extremely thick vine instantly bound Lin Xian. In the next instant, all kinds of flames, water balls, vines and powerful attacks surged toward Lin Xian. This was really like fighting a boss. F***ck. Lin Xian struggled and realized that the vines were very tough. Then I won't play with you anymore. Ha! With a roar, Lin Xian's aura exploded again. Qi building realm 10 stars. At this moment they felt Lin Xian's aura. However, even if he was in the Qi building realm 10 stars, it would be very powerful if he could beat 3 people in the Qi building realm 9 stars. The difference of 1 star should not be that big. Although they were shocked that Lin Xian was in the Qi building realm 10 stars, they were not afraid. Xiao Runing felt Lin Xian's realm, and the corner of her mouth slightly rose. She knew that Lin Xian was still hiding a lot. She even felt that this Qi building realm 10 stars was not Lin Xian's real trump card. But if the Qi building realm 10 stars was not his real realm, then did it mean that he had reached the spirit condensation realm? Was it really possible for a Qi building realm 10 stars to fight 11 experts of the intermediate class? Was still like a fantasy. If he was in the spirit condensation realm, then it was possible. After all, the difference of 1 realm was too big. However, Lin Xian's Qi building realm 10 star speed and strength made everyone speechless. This was not right. Was this the speed of a Qi building realm 10 stars? Even a spirit condensation realm 3 stars did not have this speed, right? What kind of martial skill did he use to increase the speed of his growth so much? And his strength boom. Qin Feng, as the number 1 expert and a metal-type martial artist, his attack power was greatly increased. But when he clashed with Lin Xian's fist, he was sent flying. Next, Zhu Xiao was sent flying. Next, Jiang Bei was sent flying. A second ago, Lin Xian was like a boss. But now, after he exploded with the strength of a Qi building realm 10 stars, he was like a boss that went berserk. The 10 experts of the intermediate class were like rookies in front of Lin Xian. Ding! Successfully pinched little big sisters but classified as a scumbag. Scumbag points plus 300,000. Mission progress, 70%. That's right. Lin Xian had made use of his extreme speed to pinch Wang Xintong's perky buttocks when he was about to dash in front of the others. Then, he received such a great reward. And even the mission progress had increased from 30% to 70%. Wang Xintong's pretty face was red as she stood there biting her red lips. Bastard. With only 1 minute of berserk time, Lin Xian did not want to spend another 100,000 in exchange for 1 minute of strength and agility. That would be too wasteful. So he only needed to finish the battle within this 1 minute. Clearly, with the Qi building realm's 10 stars, coupled with the doubling of his strength and agility, Lin Xian was able to completely crush them. They were not his match at all. When Lin Xian stopped, only Wang Xintong and him were left on the stage. Chapter 32. Because Lin Xian's movements were too fast, the audience did not see him touch Wang Xintong. They were more focused on the next person Lin Xian charged at. Right now, what Xiao Runing was more curious about was not Lin Xian's cultivation level, but what method did he use to increase his strength and speed by so much when he was at the Qi building stage 9 star, or even the Qi building stage 10 star. Was it a martial technique? If it was a martial technique, it would be quite shocking. This level of increase should be at least a mystic 5 stars martial technique. It was really unexpected. They thought that 11 against 1 would be a crushing defeat. Yes, it was indeed a crushing defeat. However, it was Lin Xian who crushed all 11 of them. It wasn't that they didn't have time to unleash their martial arts techniques, spiritual power, elemental power, and so on. However, Lin Xian was like a boss as he broke free from the vines. The number one expert unleashed his full strength with his martial arts techniques, and was sent flying in an instant. They were not on the same level at all. What surprised the audience was not only Lin Xian's powerful combat strength, but also his realm. On what basis? How could a new student who just entered the Sky Martial Court be at Qi Building Realm 10 stars? Qi Building Realm 10 stars was the standard to enter the advanced class. Was Lin Xian actually a genius? But why did he only take the assessment when he was at Qi Building Realm 10 stars? That was also why he had always been called trash by others. Was he trash? Trash could beat up the top 10 of the intermediate class by himself? Only Lin Xian and Wang Xintong were left in the arena. The others were silent. They did not know how to express their emotions. Ding! Detected adoration from 41 ladies. Scumbag value plus 57,000. Lin Xian then turned his head to look at Wang Xintong. He smiled, revealing 2 rows of white teeth. Looking completely harmless, he said, "Xintong, I can't bear to lay my hands on you. Hit me down and you'll win. Even if I can win the world, I won't win against you." Ding! The host's sweet words have an effect on the little sister. Scumbag value plus 10,000. Wang Xintong shook her head. Her face was still red from Lin Xian pinching her butt. "I'm not your opponent." After Ning said this quietly, she turned around and left the stage. Lin Xian then glanced at the crowd. "Is there anyone else?" "Silence, is anyone else coming?" This F** King top 10 expert was beaten to a pulp. "Do you think anyone else would come?" After a long period of silence, Lin Xian turned to look at Xiao Runing and asked, "Miss Xiao, can we announce it now?" Xiao Runing nodded slightly. "Then, I hereby announce that the first place of this intermediate class grand competition is Lin Xian. The rankings of the others remain unchanged." Whoosh! At this moment, the entire beginner class erupted in applause. Although they did not like Lin Xian, as a beginner class student, he had become the first place of the intermediate class. This had given the beginner class a lot of face. The beginner class students were often looked down upon and oppressed by the intermediate class students. In a moment, Lin Xian had definitely become the most popular person in Tianhua Academy. In the distance, the 2 girls, one in white and one in black, retracted their gazes. "Did you see anything?" The beautiful girl in black looked at the girl in white and smiled. "It should be a martial arts technique that increases one's attributes. Its rank is not low." The girl in white said emotionlessly and walked away. "How boring. Such an attention-grabbing young man. And yet you're not interested. TSK. She then looked in the direction of Lin Xian and muttered to herself. Lin Xian, an unknown piece of trash who could not cultivate, suddenly became a Qi building stage martial artist of at least 10 stars. He beat up more than 10 arrogant young masters from the intermediate class. Was it because he went to the monstrous beast territory and killed a strong monstrous beast, for some reason, that he advanced so quickly? Or was he hiding his strength from the start? But if he was hiding his strength, why? On the other side, Lin Xian had already left the stage. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, he swaggered towards Xiao Runing. Now no one dared to say a word because Lin Xian had done what they thought was impossible. "Miss Xiao, my mission is complete. You have to honor your promise." Xiao Runing tucked her hair behind her ear and said, "Of course, I will give you a place in the Tianwu assembly." No, I'm not talking about that." Lin Xian shook his head. "Then what is it?" "You promised. If you win, there will be a photo of you." Hee. Xiao Runing. Then, Xiao Runing took out a thick stack of photos from her bag. It looked like they had been printed long ago. She threw the first photo to Lin Xian and said, "I said there would be a photo, but I didn't say it would be a photo. Take it." After saying that, Xiao Runing swaggered off. Lin Xian looked at the photo in his hand, but it was messed up by the wind. What is this? An anime character. Her clothes, hair, and appearance were a bit similar to Xiao Runing, but this was an anime. There was even a black marker on the photo that said Xiao Runing, with an arrow pointing at the anime character. This was the reward she promised to give to the top 10 students? Okay, you're awesome. Lin Xian glanced at the crowd. Everyone was looking at him with envy. Xiao Runing's photo, damn. Then Lin Xian waved the photo and shouted, selling a first-hand photo of Sky Martial Court's beautiful teacher Miss Xiao. There are only 20 photos in the beginner and intermediate classes. And I'm selling one. First come, first serve. Xiao Runing, who had not gone far, staggered when she heard Lin Xian's words. This bastard. The horny students were stunned for a moment, then they rushed over. I'll buy it. I want it. Don't push. It's mine. Mine. What did this photo mean to these horny students? When they went out to play, they would show it to their friends and say that this was their girlfriend. How pretentious. In the end, Lin Xian sold the photo to a rich kid from the intermediate class for 3,000 yuan. When Lin Xian handed the photo to him, he was confused. Brother, what's this? Lin Xian said calmly, Miss Xiao, don't you see her signature? Damn. Ha ha ha. Then, Lin Xian happily took the 3,000 yuan and left. This Xiao Runing was a bit sneaky. She used her advantage to make the students fight hard. But she did not expect the photo to be fake. It was just a printed copy of her signature. In the afternoon, Lin Xian continued to train in the virtual combat chamber. Before school ended, Xiao Runing found him. This is your reward for being the champion of the competition. Xiao Runing handed Lin Xian a jade pendant. This is? Take it with you. It's for self-defense. It can block an 8-star spirit focus attack. It can save your life in a critical moment. Chapter 33. Lin Xian looked at the jade pendant in his hand. He could feel the slight spiritual power flowing within it. This is definitely a spiritual tool. To be able to block a fatal attack from an 8-star spirit condensation realm expert, it is extremely precious to the current Lin Xian. Thank you, Miss Xiao. Lin Xian hung the jade pendant around his neck. This is equivalent to a protective amulet, because even if Lin Xian's current realm is to encounter an 8-star spirit condensation realm expert, once he is hit by an 8-star spirit condensation realm expert, it is almost fatal. One move and Lin Xian may die, Xiao Runing said. And now you should prepare for the Tianwu Assembly. Miss Xiao, in the Tianwu Assembly, what realm do I have to reach before I can compete for the first place? Lin Xian asked. Xiao Runing said, there are about 20 top experts in the 3 academies. Right now they should be in the arcane body realm. As for the exact number of arcane body realm experts, I don't know. Lin Xian knows that the reason why Qin Xiaotian is not in the academy is because he left the human territory and entered the demon beast territory to gain experience. Regarding this Qin Xiaotian, Lin Xian will definitely not let him off. The insufferably arrogant him was destined to be Lin Xian's stepping stone. However, after hearing Xiao Runing's words, Lin Xian is secretly speechless. Sure enough, he still underestimated these people. I know, then I will go home first. And after that, Lin Xian returned home. Today's harvest is very rich, especially after pinching Wang Xintong's, but he actually directly increased his scum man points by 300,000. After exchanging 3 experience fruits, Lin Xian also successfully reached 5-star spirit condensation realm, level 15. Looking at the remaining 510,000 scum man points, Lin Xian hesitated for a moment and finally chose the big wheel. Looking at the time, Lin Yu will also be going home soon. Please don't give me another inflatable doll. Lin Xian bitterly thought in his heart. Ding. You have successfully obtained the Earth Tier 9-star spiritual tool, True Flame Exploding Bullet. N. Lin Xian looked at the egg-like object in his hand and fell into confusion. This is a spiritual tool? True Flame Exploding Bomb. Grade, Earth Rank 9-star. A single-use offensive spirit artifact with extremely destructive power. It contains the full power of a powerful fire-attributed pure yang spirit crystal. After being violently hit, it will release all of its power to achieve a destructive effect. Its power is equivalent to a full-powered attack from a profound heaven realm expert. Seeing the description of the True Blaze explosive bullet, Lin Xian shuddered and almost dropped it. The explosion of this egg-like thing was equivalent to the full-force attack of a profound heaven-stage demonic beast. The mystic heaven realm was the realm above the mystic body realm, and the mystic body realm was the realm above the spirit focus realm. In other words, the power of this true flame-bursting bomb was equivalent to the power of a level 40 martial artist's ultimate move. What kind of concept is that? Level 40 martial artists have a lifespan of more than 200 years. That is an existence that transcends the limits of humans. According to Lin Xian's knowledge, in the entire Tianhua city, only the Bounty Hunter Guild, the Divine Temple, and the Trial Union had such experts. Even the deans of the 3 great academies could not reach that realm. They are extremely powerful and rare, because it is too dangerous to continue to fight demonic beasts after reaching level 30. Demonic beasts of that level are too destructive. Who knows how many people of that level have died outside? That is why there are very few martial artists who can reach the mysterious heaven realm. The Bounty Hunter Guild, the Divine Temple, and the Trial Union are the 3 biggest powers in the Sky Martial continent. They are spread throughout every city in the 5 countries. In the human territories, there are no powers that can compare to these 3. They can be said to be the greatest contributors to the battle against the demonic beasts. Among them there are countless experts. Their goal is to protect China and the other 4 countries from the invasion of the demonic beasts. However, there are some differences. The Bounty Hunter Guild mostly accepts missions from others, or issues missions for other martial artists to do in exchange for rewards. The Divine Temple is responsible for the safety of the Sky Martial continent, while the Trial Union is responsible for the trial of those with evil intentions. Because there are 2 ways for martial artists to increase their level, other than hunting demonic beasts. The other is to kill other martial artists to increase their experience. The former is very dangerous, so a faction called the Evil Fiend Temple was born. The members of the Evil Fiend Temple are all human martial artists, and the only way for them to increase their level is to hunt other martial artists. Therefore, everyone hates the Evil Fiend Temple more than the demonic beasts. Countless people have died at the hands of the Evil Fiend Temple members. The most terrifying thing is that they can casually mingle in the city and live their normal lives. However, once they find a target, they will hunt and kill them to earn experience points for the God's Sun system to level up. Therefore, you don't know if a harmless-looking person next to you is actually a member of the Evil Fiend Temple. Lin Xian carefully put the true flame explosive bomb away. He still felt that it was not safe to put it in his pocket. What if he accidentally fell and touched it, and it exploded? Then he wouldn't even have a corpse left. However, with the true flame explosive bomb in his hand, Lin Xian suddenly had an idea. Tonight he will leave Tianhua City and go to the demonic beast territory to kill monsters and level up. Just relying on the experience fruits is still a little slow, and Lin Xian also has to experience fighting real demonic beasts. The further away from the human area, the more dangerous it is. So the outside of Tianhua City is actually not too dangerous, because there are many martial artists in the city who go out to kill monsters and level up every day. Those who should be killed have been killed, and those who should die have died. Generally, it is not too dangerous. Moreover, Lin Xian has reached level 15, and logically speaking, he can go out even alone. He is missing a spiritual weapon. Now Lin Xian can only fight hand-to-hand. It would be great if he has a sword. However, if he wants to use a sword, he will have to enter the advanced class to come into contact with it. However, it is sold, but a random 1-star yellow rank spiritual weapon costs tens of thousands. Lin Xian does not want to spend so much money. For the time being, hand-to-hand combat should be fine. Linya opened the door and walked in. The first thing she looked at was the sofa, as if to see if there was another doll lying on it. "Little fairy, you're back." Lin Xian smiled sweetly. Linya hung her bag to the side and changed into slippers, saying, "Anne, I originally had a meeting tonight, so I might come back a little late, but I cancelled it. I'm going to cook." "And love you." Linya was startled, and then ignored Lin Xian. Towards Linya, Lin Xian really loves Lin Xian to death. Although he and Linya have only known each other for 3 years, Her character is too good, making Lin Xian feel warmth. Therefore, he must become strong, only then can he protect Linya. In this kind of era, without strength you are nothing. Only when you are strong can you have the right to speak, and make others fear you. Only then can you be unscrupulous. Qin Xiaotian, one day, I will use your blood as a sacrifice for the sins you have committed. Lin Xian's eyes narrowed, and a murderous intent surged. Chapter 34. Lin Xian was very satisfied as he ate Linya's dishes. The taste of Linya's cooking was exactly what Lin Xian liked. It was the feeling of home. He truly felt that the delicacies outside were not as satisfying as the simple meals she made. I'm going out later, Lin Xian said to Linya as he ate. Normally, Lin Xian rarely went out at night. He would just accompany Linya to chat and watch TV. Hearing that Lin Xian was going out, Linya was slightly surprised. She looked up at Lin Xian and asked, "Is it dangerous?" Lin Xian smiled as he looked into Linya's eyes and said, "What danger?" He didn't want to tell Linya that he was going to the demonic beast domain, because he knew that Linya would be worried. "And that's good. Come back soon." "Got it." Lin Xian then stood up and wiped the corner of Linya's mouth. "What's wrong?" Linya slightly raised her beautiful eyebrows. "There's rice." "And?" Linya then lowered her head and slowly ate a mouthful of rice. Ding! Feeling the shyness and satisfaction from the little sister, scumbag man value plus 20,000. Lin Xian chuckled in his heart. She's even shy now. After eating, Lin Xian set off. He took a taxi to the edge of Tianhua City. This was the outskirts of the city, so there were very few ordinary people. The people here were all warriors who entered and left the barrier. He could see that some of them had injuries on their bodies. Some were heavy, some were light, and some were even missing an arm or a leg was normal. However, there was no other way. If he wanted to level up, he could only go out and kill monsters. Every city in the 5 great empires had a barrier around it. This barrier protected the city from being invaded by demonic beasts, and people could freely pass through it. There were many sentries around the barrier, and there were many warriors standing guard here. These warriors were mostly members of the temple, the Bounty Hunter Association, and the Magic Court. Their missions and identities were similar to that of the People's Liberation Army on Earth. After passing through the barrier, Lin Xian officially arrived at the territory of the demonic beasts. There were many human figures in his line of sight. Because this place was too close to the city, it was impossible for demonic beasts to come so close. Even if there were, they would be hunted down by warriors or killed by the sentries, unless an extremely strong demonic beast appeared. However, strong demonic beasts usually wouldn't come. If they did, they would come in groups, and that would be the demonic beasts launching an all-out attack on the city. It could be seen that the human territory inside the barrier was orderly, but outside the barrier, it was a mess. Lin Xian came out of a place facing a highway. The highway was surrounded by all kinds of woods. Because so many years had passed, there was no one taking care of the outside, so the vegetation outside was completely natural. If one went deeper, they would find that it was a place where no one had lived before. Everything was the work of nature. Lin Xian walked along the highway for about 10 minutes, and directly went to the left side of the forest area. Until now, he had not seen any demonic beasts. After all, it was too close to Tianhua City. If there were any, they would have been killed by the warriors. In a place where there were no signs of human life, it was especially dark at night. However, with Lin Xian's 5-star spirit condensation realm, his night vision was still pretty good. Half an hour later, the forest where Lin Xian was now, accurately speaking, after so many years, could be considered a small forest. This area was already classified as a dangerous area. The further away one was, the larger the range of radiation, causing the people who should be densely packed together to be very, very few. If a normal warrior had the ability or a team to go out, they would usually drive out and directly go to a farther place. Lin Xian didn't have a car, but he could choose to spend some money to get the Bounty Hunter Guild to let him out. However, Lin Xian didn't want to do that. After another 10 minutes, according to Lin Xian's visual estimation, This place should be about 4 kilometers away from Tianhua City's barrier. On the way, Lin Xian saw a few people fighting with demonic beasts. Most of the demonic beasts were below the 5-star spirit building realm, so Lin Xian didn't stop. He wanted to find demonic beasts around the spirit condensation realm. That way, he would have to go further. At this moment, Lin Xian's location seemed to be in a mountainous area. Because he had been climbing up, the surrounding trees were flourishing. In addition to the darkness, this kind of place was really quite scary. In the next moment, Lin Xian's mind moved. In front of him, there was a low growl that was similar to that of a dog when it was threatened. Then, a pair of green eyes slowly appeared in the darkness. Following that, a complete figure appeared in front of Lin Xian. It was a wolf-like demonic beast. Its entire body was black, and it was about 2 meters tall. It had a strong physique, and at this moment, it was baring its teeth, revealing its sharp fangs and sticky liquid that was dripping down from them. Lin Xian had faced this demonic beast in the virtual battle before. It was a bloodthirsty demon wolf. Releasing his spirit flames, the bloodthirsty demon wolf's attributes appeared in front of Lin Xian's eyes. Bloodthirsty demon wolf, realm, 9-star spirit building realm, attributes, none strength, 110 vitality, 101 agility, 123 spirit, 80, a ferocious demonic beast. Its personality is extremely violent. It hunts everything that can be hunted. Martial technique devouring spirit claw. Close combat martial technique. It condenses its own demonic chi into its front claws and fiercely swipes at the enemy, causing higher damage. Lin Xian's mouth slightly raised. My luck is not bad. Tonight's first battle is against a 9-star spirit building realm demonic beast. Shwa. In the next moment, Lin Xian's aura began to surge. The bloodthirsty demon wolf's realm and attributes appeared in front of Lin Xian's eyes. Then Lin Xian was not worried at all. The bloodthirsty demon wolf was prepared to directly attack Lin Xian. But after feeling Lin Xian's 5-star spirit condensation realm aura, its first reaction was to run. That's right, demonic beasts are not idiots. Whether or not it can beat them, it is clear. With such a large gap in realm, it would be abnormal if it still attacked. The bloodthirsty demon wolf turned around and galloped into the night. Wanna run? If you can run away today, I'll take your surname. Whoosh! Raising his spirit energy, Lin Xian suddenly chased after it. Even if the bloodthirsty demon wolf was fast, Lin Xian's realm was high. If it wasn't for the trees, Lin Xian could catch up in a few seconds. But it only took him 20 seconds. The bloodthirsty demon wolf in front of him was almost within Lin Xian's attack range. Bang! Just as Lin Xian was about to attack, the bloodthirsty demon wolf suddenly slapped a tree with its claws. The tree instantly fell towards Lin Xian and blocked his pursuit. Do you think I'll let you run? Lin Xian's speed did not decrease at all. When the tree fell in midair, Lin Xian directly punched it. The tree was cut in half. Then Lin Xian condensed spirit energy in his right hand. Chi Condensation Strike. Chi Condensation Strike is the long-range attack skill that Lin Xian learned. So, a blue spirit energy shot out like a cannonball, steadily smashing into the bloodthirsty demon wolf's body. Bang! The bloodthirsty demon wolf's body suddenly smashed into a huge rock beside it. The huge rock was directly smashed by its body. One can imagine how big the impact of this Chi Condensation Strike was. Ding! You killed bloodthirsty demon wolf. Experience plus 500. Chapter 35. Lin Xian looked at the bloodthirsty demon wolf's corpse and secretly shook his head, then muttered to himself, "This won't do. A 9-star chi building realm only gave me 500 experience. I need 7,500 experience to level up. I thought a 9-star chi building realm demon beast would give me a lot of experience. But it's just this little." Now Lin Xian was experiencing the difficulty of leveling up for the first time. After all, Lin Xian was only fighting in virtual reality. He only relied on experience fruits to level up. But he knew that he couldn't just rely on experience fruits. And a 9-star chi building realm was already very exaggerated. But it didn't give him much experience. He might as well go and flirt with girls in exchange for experience fruits. One experience fruit is worth 1,000 experience points. The bloodthirsty demon wolf's corpse was motionless on the ground. Lin Xian killing it in one move was normal. If a 5-star spirit condensation realm couldn't kill a 9-star chi-building realm, then Lin Xian should really go and die. According to what Xiao Runing had said, the most powerful experts in the Academy's advanced class were probably at the Xian body realm, and Lin Xian was only 5 levels away from the Xian body realm. He still had nearly a month's time, so it was not a problem for him to increase his cultivation by 5 levels. However, as he was increasing his cultivation, the others were also increasing their cultivation. By the time Lin Xian reached the Xian body realm, they would have already increased their cultivation by a bit. So if they wanted to have a better chance of winning, Lin Xian would at least need to be at a higher level than them. Because he didn't have any attributes, he was weaker than them, and couldn't use stronger martial skills. But their martial skills were probably not only yellow rank. Even if they didn't have earth rank, they definitely had mystic rank. Because each and every one of them was a genius, it would be abnormal if they didn't have mystic rank martial skills. And Lin Xian had powerful martial skills, but he didn't have any attributes to use. This was very awkward. So in terms of martial skills, he was weaker than these people, but his advantage was that he had the attribute exchange system, and the other point was that he was above them in level. Walking past the bloodthirsty demon wolf's corpse, Lin Xian went deeper. He didn't know how far he had walked, but in short, it was easy to meet demon beasts here. He just hoped to meet a stronger one. After about 2 minutes, using his extraordinary spiritual power, he felt movement around him. And it was underground. It was gradually approaching him. A demon beast that can dig underground? Lin Xian's brows furrowed slightly, as he carefully sensed his opponent's location. Then, he suddenly leaped forward, and released his cosmic fist in mid-air. Star fist. Boom! A fist hits fist's fist, and the ground directly created a hole. Following which, Lin Xian could no longer sense the demonic beast's movements. Lin Xian extended his hand and dug into the ground. Then, he actually pulled out a demonic beast. It was a blood-red rat about a meter in size. Lin Xian had also fought against this kind of demon beast in the virtual combat. It was called the mutated demon rat. This kind of demon beast was generally not strong, and its attack method was to suddenly attack from underground. They had sharp claws that could easily pierce a martial artist's chest, and sharp teeth that could easily bite through a martial artist's neck aorta. This one wasn't dead yet, but Lin Xian's kick had already killed it as soon as it hit the ground. Ding! You killed the mutated demon rat, experience points plus 100. Although he killed the mutated demon rat, Lin Xian's face did not show any signs of relaxation. Why? Because he knew that although this kind of mutated demon rat was not strong, it was generally a group of demon beasts. Mutated demon rats were often seen in groups. Don't think that a low-level demon beast could not cause harm to a high-level martial artist. For example, Lin Xian was currently at the Spirit Condensation Stage 5-star. Even a Chi-building Stage 5-star would be able to injure him. It was just a matter of how much damage they could inflict. However, when it came to the weaker parts of the body, such as the throat and the heart, no matter who it was, he had to be careful at all times. This gap would become bigger as the realm increased. For example, a Chi-building 5th-star demon beast could scratch Lin Xian's skin. There was a big gap between them 10 levels. When Lin Xian reached level 50, a level 40 demon beast would not be able to hurt him, unless Lin Xian stood there and let it hit him. Sure enough, Lin Xian felt many auras quickly approaching him. Damn it! If only I had a spirit weapon. Fighting a demon beast with his bare hands was definitely not as safe as fighting with a spirit weapon. But he could use a spirit weapon now. So it depended on whether he had one or not. The mutated demon rats had another characteristic. They were afraid of demon beasts. But they were not afraid of humans. They even dared to provoke martial artists who were higher than them, because they thought that numbers were enough. And they were not afraid of death. Come on. 100 or so experience. A group of them is more than me killing a few high-level demon beasts. Lin Xian's aura surged, and a few seconds later, the ground he was standing on collapsed. about 5 meters around him. This was because the mutated demon rats had drilled a hole in the ground under Lin Xian's feet. This way, if Lin Xian fell in, they would be able to swarm him and bite him to death. However, Lin Xian reacted quickly and jumped away before the ground collapsed. The exotic demon rats were considered low-level demonic beasts. They were roughly around the 4 or 5-star chi-building realm. Lin Xian could basically kill one in one move. The reason why the last one didn't die was because the ground had absorbed too much of the impact for it. It's time to come out. Lin Xian's eyes narrowed and suddenly turned around. At this moment, a mutated demon rat had quietly climbed up a tree and directly used its sharp claws to grab Lin Xian's throat. Bang! A punch filled with power sent the mutated demon rat flying in the air. Ding! You have killed the mutated demon rat. Experience plus 110. Just as Lin Xian killed this mutated demon rat, the surrounding mutated demon rats appeared. There were no less than 10 of them. Hee. If all the demon beasts were as rash as you guys, how good would that be? Thinking back to how the bloodthirsty demon wolf had run away, if the low-level demon rats were as brainless as the mutated demon rats, then Lin Xian wouldn't have to chase after them. Almost at the same time, all the mutated demon rats rushed towards Lin Xian from all directions. If it was someone with a low cultivation level, they would really be surrounded and killed by the mutated demon rats. Even a chi-building 8th star might not be able to leave this place alive. This was the danger of the outside world. Moreover, Lin Xian's current location was considered a relatively safe distance. The truly powerful ones would have gone further away, or even to seek out the demon kings. For these demon beasts, even if they were in the spirit condensation realm, they were still considered low-level demon beasts. Those demon beasts that could truly capture human cities were the most powerful ones, and some of them could even transform into human forms. Moreover, Lin Xian knew that the demon beasts had a force, just like the humans' holy temple and the Trial Union. This force was called the Myriad Demon Alliance. The Myriad Demon Alliance was a truly terrifying existence. Basically, all the attacks on human territory were organized by the Myriad Demon Alliance. Tonight, let's start a massacre. Lin Xian's mouth curled up. Chapter 36. A total of 13 beasts, including the one Lin Xian killed, a total of 14 beasts. On average, each beast gave Lin Xian 100 experience points. A dozen beasts only gave him a little more than 1,000 experience points. It was only a little more than the 9-star chi-building realm beast. However, Lin Xian did not have to do much. It was very easy for him to kill these beasts. As long as they were hit by Lin Xian's attack, they would be killed instantly. A 9-star chi-building realm beast, Lin Xian, could kill it instantly with a 20% increase in strength. What about a 5-star beast? Are there no higher-level beasts? Lin Xian shook his head helplessly and continued to walk forward. He wanted to find a 1-star or 2-star spirit condensation realm beast. The experience points of a spirit condensation realm beast should not be low. It was easy to find, but he needed to go further. If it was too far, Lin Xian was not sure if he would be safe. An hour later, Lin Xian arrived at a piece of wilderness. The terrain here was relatively flat. Almost all the tracks were made by demonic beasts. There were also quite a number of cultivators. Lin Xian even saw a few cultivators fighting in front of him to the right. He didn't go over, and he couldn't be bothered to. In this hour he did not level up. He only needed 500 experience points to reach the 6-star spirit condensation realm. However, he did not meet a single spirit condensation realm beast. It wasn't that spirit condensation demonic beasts were rare. It was just that this place was too close to Tianhua City. Actually, it couldn't be said to be close. It was about 7 to 8 kilometers away. However, because there were martial artists from Tianhua City coming out to hunt demonic beasts every moment, it made this distance dangerous. But it was still within the range of martial artists' activities. After bypassing the martial artists who were fighting, everyone felt a sense of danger after leaving the city. This danger did not only come from beasts, but also from human martial artists. Outside of the city, there was no longer the judgment of the big forces. People outside could do whatever they wanted as long as no one saw them. Everything would be fine when they returned to the city. Therefore, you did not know if someone would kill you for the God's child experience points. Moreover, the known evil fiend temple really existed. And the members of the evil fiend temple, who hunted martial artists as their target, also existed. Although I have a martial technique now, it's too weak, and I lack a spirit weapon. I must get a spirit weapon. Since he had already chosen to leave the city, then he must have a spirit weapon. Fighting barehanded was really stupid in the eyes of other martial artists, and a spirit weapon usually had a very high price. Powerful ones could not be bought with money. For example, Lin Xian would definitely choose a sword as a spirit weapon, but an ordinary sword was not enough to support a martial artist's spirit power. Even if it supported the spirit power, an ordinary sword would not be able to break through his defense, even if it was slightly stronger than a demonic beast. Spirit weapon. The most important thing now was the spiritual equipment. Lin Xian decided to go to the Sky Martial Court tomorrow and ask Xiao Runing if she had any ideas. Just like that, Lin Xian, who was deep in thought with his head lowered, realized that he had already reached the end of the field. However, there, he saw a scene that made him tremble in fear. There were more than a dozen corpses lying here. Judging from their ages, they seemed to be young, and their injuries were very fatal. Some of them even had their chests pierced through and died instantly. Generally speaking, this kind of death was caused by a strong demonic beast. In other words, there was a demonic beast that was not weak. Generally speaking, no one cared about the corpses in the demonic beast area. No one knew what had eaten them in the end, so there were many corpses and skeletons outside. Lin Xian suddenly became vigilant. There was movement. Therefore, one must not be distracted when outside. If Lin Xian did not see these corpses, he would have directly bumped into the demonic beast. Beside a tree in front of him, a lion about 2 meters tall was licking the blood from the corner of its mouth, as if it had just finished hunting. What made Lin Xian's pupils shrink was that this demonic beast was actually a netherworld flame lion. The netherworld flame lion was a relatively powerful existence among the demonic beasts. Its bloodline was also relatively strong. For example, there were geniuses and mediocre people. If the demonic beasts he encountered before belonged to the lowest level, then the netherworld flame lion belonged to the geniuses category. The netherworld flame lion was a demonic beast that could reach a very high level. This was because its bloodline was strong, and a strong bloodline represented a strong combat strength. The reason why Lin Xian was able to recognize the netherworld flame lion so easily was because this kind of demonic beast had a very special characteristic, and that was the dark blue flame on its tail that was similar to a willow, the wisp. When the netherworld flame lion was in battle, its entire body would burn with this kind of dark blue flame, giving people a sense of oppression. He released his spiritual eye to investigate this netherworld flame lion. Netherworld flame lion, realm, soul focus 2-star level, 12 attribute, dark flame strength, 187 constitution, 177 speed, 187 crystals, 150, a devil beast with a strong bloodline. All of its stats are balanced, and its attacks are slightly strong. It is almost invincible in the same realm. Martial skills. Netherworld flame burn. Releases a blue flame without warning. Generally, in addition to the body, it will also attack the target's soul. Netherworld flame blast. Condenses the power of the netherworld flame in the body, and suddenly spits out a powerful flame energy in front of it. This was the difference between an ordinary demonic beast and a demonic beast with a strong bloodline. The netherworld flame lion was 2 stars of spirit condensation level. Its attributes were almost at the level of Lin Xian's 5 stars of spirit condensation level. Furthermore, it had attributes. What did the dark flame mean? It was not a dual attribute, but it had both the flame and shadow abilities. However, that was not all of its abilities. As for the martial skills, what the spiritual eye found out was that it was more deadly. It could be said that Lin Xian, who was only at the 5th star of the spirit focus realm, had the risk of being killed by this nether flame lion beast that was only at the second star of the spirit focus realm. However, Lin Xian had finally met a spirit condensation level demonic beast. He could not let it go. At this moment, the netherworld flame lion might have let down its guard or something else, but it did not notice Lin Xian. This was a chance for Lin Xian. Qi condensation strike. The Qi condensation strike was released with all his strength. Boom! The ball of light condensed from spiritual force smashed into the netherworld flame lion's body and exploded like a bomb. The netherworld flame lion's figure broke the tree behind it and slid on the ground for 5 or 6 meters before stopping. After all, Lin Xian had 5 stars of spirit condensation level cultivation. If it was an ordinary 2 stars of spirit condensation level demonic beast, even if it did not have a vital point, it would have been seriously injured. However, the netherworld flame lion quickly got up. Its body was bleeding, and its blue eyes stared at Lin Xian. You think this young master is afraid of you just because you stare at me? Lin Xian condensed his spiritual force and rushed forward. Shwa! A ghostly flame ignited in front of him without any warning. Chapter 37. This was probably the limit of the nether flame lion's martial skill. Otherwise, it would have burned under Lin Xian's feet, and Lin Xian would definitely have been injured. When Lin Xian circled around the flames, he saw the fleeing figure of the nether flame lion. Perhaps if it wasn't injured, it would have fought with Lin Xian, but now it was smart enough to run away. Run! Lin Xian's feet stirred up the wind as he released his martial skill, Speed Shadow. His speed suddenly increased as he chased after it. If he could let the nether flame lion escape today, wouldn't that be the end of it? In terms of speed, although the nether flame lion was fast, Lin Xian's cultivation was higher than it, so he was slowly closing in. Very quickly, he rushed out of the field and into a forest. After rushing out of the forest, there was still a field in front of him. F***CK. Qi condensation strike. Lin Xian released another attack from behind, but it was dodged by the nether flame lion. If only I had a spirit artifact and a sword move, it would be much better. Lin Xian muttered in his heart. But facing such a strong bloodline demon beast, no matter how much effort it took, it was fine as long as he could kill it. After passing through the wilderness, there was another forest. The moment he was about to rush out of the forest, Lin Xian finally caught up to the nether flame lion. But the moment he rushed out, Lin Xian was stunned. The scene in front of him made him unable to accept it. The nether flame lion he was chasing had stopped, and beside it was a nether flame lion that was more than 3 times its size. At this moment, the giant nether flame lion had turned its face, and its dark blue eyes that were like the fire of a death god stared at Lin Xian, causing Lin Xian to feel as if his heart was being twisted. And under the left claw of this giant nether flame lion, there was a person. She was wearing a white dress, but the white dress was dyed red with blood. The sharp claws of the nether flame lion were at the edge of her neck, as if it only needed to use a little force to cut her neck. At this moment, the woman turned her head to look at Lin Xian. From her eyes, he could see stubbornness, coldness, and a trace of despair. However, her face was covered in blood, and Lin Xian could not see her face clearly. But Lin Xian cared about this nether flame lion. This power, nether flame lion beast realm. Level. Attribute. Question marks. All question marks. This was a netherworld flame lion that had surpassed the spirit condensation realm. F***CK. Lin Xian was wondering why the nether flame lion suddenly stopped running. So it had found a thigh. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was more like food delivered to their doorstep. This demonic beast's spirit beast's intelligence. It was seducing Lin Xian. Hi. Hi. Lin Xian swallowed a mouthful of saliva and waved at the 2 nether flame lion beasts that were looking at him. Roar. A roar seemed to pierce through the sky. It's calling you. Lin Xian threw a Qi condensation strike and turned to run. Ding. Successfully triggered the mission, teasing little big sister. Due to unknown appearance, unknown name. Mission punishment, none. Mission progress, 0%. Mission reward, sword skill. Heavenly lightning flash. Lin Xian. This system. Are you F*King joking? Why didn't you see when you triggered the mission? F*CK. Lin Xian was unhappy. Wasn't this too miserable? Why did he encounter a nether flame lion that was at least at the arcane body realm? This kind of demonic beast rarely appeared near human territory. And now there was such a strong one. That chi condensation strike hit the head of the big nether flame lion like a firecracker. It probably only damaged a few strands of hair. Roar. An angry roar came from behind. Lin Xian turned around and saw that the big nether flame lion carrying the small one was chasing after him. I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. Lin Xian's heart was filled with endless bitterness. Speed shadow. Exchange for agility. Whoosh. The difference between the two was too big. Lin Xian quickly used the scumbag points to exchange for agility, doubling his speed. However, the nether flame lion was still closing in on him. This big one was obviously the mother or father of the small one. Seeing that Lin Xian had injured its child, it would definitely be angry. It didn't even want the prey in its hands and chased after Lin Xian crazily. Cough, cough. The woman lying on the ground clutched her chest and sat up with difficulty. She was already in despair and thought that she would definitely die in the hands of the nether flame lion tonight. She didn't expect that when she was about to meet her death, a young man would suddenly appear and save her. But he was being chased by the nether flame lion. Han Shushua slowly stood up. The severity of her injuries and the depletion of her spiritual energy made it difficult for her to recover in a short period of time. Her face was dyed red with blood, and her appearance couldn't be seen clearly. Her cold eyes revealed a trace of worry and struggle as she looked at Lin Xian's gradually distancing figure. Fortunately, she survived. However, she was saved by a person, and he was at the 5th star of the spirit condensation realm. She could feel him when Lin Xian was running away. She was at the 3rd star of the arcane body realm and was crushed. She was at the 5th star of the spirit condensation realm. There was no way she could survive. Han Shushua had never owed anyone a favor, let alone a life-saving grace. He even saved her life. But he was going to die. She was struggling in her heart. She wanted to help, but if she went, she would also die. If other people encountered this situation, they would definitely get up and run, because they were afraid that the enemy would look back. However, Han Shushua stood in place and watched Lin Xian's disappearing figure for a long time without moving. Her cold eyes were emotionless, and no one knew what she was thinking. She left, slowly leaving while covering her wounds, but that appearance couldn't be erased from her mind. At this moment, Lin Xian was already being chased by the nether flame lion. He even dodged several fatal blue fireballs, but the scene in front of him made Lin Xian despair. Why was there a steep cliff in front of him? Wait, there was a cave. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Moreover, the cave wasn't big. The big nether flame lion couldn't get in. Whoosh! At the last second, Lin Xian directly jumped in. At the same time, the nether flame lion slapped the place where he was just a moment ago, creating a 5-meter deep hole in the ground. It could be imagined that when this kind of power hit the body, it would directly shatter. After rushing into the cave, Lin Xian directly rolled for more than 10 meters, and only stopped when he hit the end. F*CK. This cave is still impassable? Lin Xian leaned in the innermost area, and looked at the nether flame lion's figure outside. Shwa! A flame shot in. Lin Xian quickly turned around, and hid at the edge to avoid being hit. F*CK. I didn't expect to encounter such a situation in my first time hunting a demon beast. Lin Xian's eyes were filled with unwillingness. Suddenly, he thought of something and quickly took out an egg from his chest. The heavens don't want me to die. Lin Xian let out a long sigh. This true flame explosion bomb could even kill a profound heaven realm cultivator. How could this arcane body realm cultivator survive? He almost forgot about this. However, Lin Xian was really glad. If not, he would have died here tonight. Then, Lin Xian slowly stood up, holding the true flame bursting bullet in his hand. His eyes were filled with anger. Chasing me, right? Spitting fire, right? Still not leaving, right? Then I want you to die. Chapter 38. Lin Xian held the true flame-bursting bullet tightly. The netherworld flame lion outside did not know that there was a threat approaching from inside. They only wanted to kill Lin Xian inside. Swish! Lin Xian looked for an opportunity, and threw out the true flame-bursting bomb with his maximum strength. Why did he have to look for an opportunity to do so? Because Lin Xian was really afraid that if the true flame-bursting bullet did not explode on the leg of the netherworld flame lion and bounce back, then he would be blowing himself up. Boom! A terrifying explosion came from outside. Lin Xian was still hit by the terrifying shockwave from more than 10 meters away. His whole body was knocked back, and he was a little stunned. Even the cave directly collapsed. Lin Xian was very lucky. There was no big collapse in his position. Only small stones fell down. It did not matter if they hit him, but all the entrances were sealed. Ding! You have attacked the netherworld flame lion. Ding! Ding! Your realm has risen to 6 stars of the spirit condensation realm. Ding! Your realm has risen to 7 stars of the spirit condensation realm. Ding! Ding! Your realm has risen to 9 stars of the spirit condensation realm. He slowly got up from the ground. He only heard a series of system prompts, and then he felt a powerful force in his body. 9 stars of the spirit condensation realm. Lin Xian was secretly speechless. What did this prove? It proved that the big netherworld flame lion outside was directly blown to death. My God! Lin Xian was not even surprised that his realm had risen to 9 stars of the spirit condensation realm. He was just shocked. This true flame-bursting bullet. Isn't it too fierce? His body was in pain at first, but maybe because his realm had increased, his physique had strengthened a lot. It was almost no big deal now. Lin Xian stood up. Everything in front of him was sealed. Star Fist. Boom! A full-strength punch directly shattered the area in front of him. Star Fist. Star Fist. After about 20 Star Fists, Lin Xian finally hammered a way out of the collapsed area. The scene in front of him shocked him. The pit was about 20 meters deep, and the deepest was probably 5 meters deep. However, the netherworld flame lion's corpse couldn't even be seen inside. It was as if it had been blown to smithereens. Lin Xian took a deep breath and sat down to check his current attributes. Name, Lin Xian. Age, 21. Realm, 9 stars of spirit condensation level, 19 experience. 51001750 scumbag value. 51800 strength. 377 constitution. 366 dexterity. 365 spirit. 365 spiritual energy value. 1450 talent. Imperial medical sacred technique martial skills. Spiritual eye. 5 thunder constellation. Cosmic fist. Chi condensation strike. Speed. Shadow. Lin Xian's overall attributes had almost doubled. This was why the higher the realm, the bigger the gap. Perhaps the gap between the chi-building realm and the spirit-congealing realm was only a dozen points, but the gap between the spirit-congealing realm and the spirit-congealing realm could be 30 to 40 points. This gap would only get bigger and bigger as the realm increased. Phew, if I reach the arcane body realm, all my attributes should exceed 600 points. This is why the gap between the realms is so big. It's impossible to win against an arcane body realm. This scumbag system saved my life. Lin Xian took a deep breath. Tonight's harvest was unexpectedly big. Next, it was time to get spiritual equipment. Lin Xian stood up and prepared to leave. However, when he looked at the pit made by the true flame-bursting bullet, he found something. In the deepest part, there seemed to be a faint purple light. It seemed like the ground had been blown open. There was a vacuum below, and something was emitting a purple light. Lin Xian curiously threw the chi condensation strike into the deep pit. Boom! A loud sound shook the dust. When the dust settled, Lin Xian was stunned. The bottom was blown open. It was really empty, and there was something emitting a purple light. Because the light was too bright, Lin Xian couldn't see clearly what it was. But it seemed to be thunder. Because that purple light wasn't real light, but thunder. Why did Lin Xian think that it was thunder? Because standing above, Lin Xian's scalp went numb. Everyone had a feeling before. That was something with static electricity. When you put your arm there, the hair on your arm would stand up. And if you carefully felt it, there would be a kind of attraction. That's right, Lin Xian also had such a feeling, and it was very strong. It was so strong that half of his hair was standing on end. There's actually some kind of thunder-type spiritual treasure hidden underground. To martial artists, heaven and earth spirit treasures were undoubtedly things that could only be obtained through great luck. And the purple lightning in front of him seemed to be some kind of spiritual treasure. But Lin Xian didn't have the courage to go down. This was because he could feel a terrifying power just by standing on top of it. If he went down, wouldn't he be instantly killed? So angry, he found a spiritual treasure, but he didn't dare to go down. And this place would definitely be discovered by others. At that time, it wouldn't be his anymore. Roar! Suddenly Lin Xian's entire body trembled, because he heard a sound similar to the roar of a beast. It can't be, right? It can't be that after hitting the small one, the older one came. And the older one came, right? If so, then he was going to die. The source of this sound turned out to be behind him. Behind him was a cave he had just hammered out. It was impossible for a demonic beast to silently appear behind him. Lin Xian swallowed a mouthful of saliva and slowly turned around stiffly. What he saw next wasn't fear but doubt. There was indeed a demonic beast in front of him. But wasn't this demonic beast a bit too small? It was 30 centimeters, and its whole body was snow white. It wasn't scary, but rather very cute. Its pair of super lively big eyes were just like a human's eyes. At this moment, it was looking at him, wagging its small tail, and tilting its small head, as if it was looking at something curiously. What surprised Lin Xian was that he had never seen this adorable demonic beast before. It was as if it was a miniature version of some mythical beasts he had seen on Earth. He released his spiritual eye. Shueqilin. Realm. Rank. Attributes. Introduction. According to the matching information of its appearance, it is suspected to be the Shueqilin of the Qilin clan's top bloodline. Lin Xian. Shueqilin? Lin Xian looked dumbfounded. Is this for real? On the aqua blue star, just like on Earth, Qilins represented a very noble bloodline. Basically, among all known mythological creatures, Qilins were ranked at the forefront. And the Shueqilin's bloodline was even nobler. But, was this really a Qilin? How could a Qilin appear in a place so close to a human's residence? And such a cute little Qilin at that. Chapter 39. According to the Spiritual Eye's introduction, this database was based on its appearance. In other words, there was a probability that it was a Qilin, but there was also a probability that it wasn't. However, Lin Xian believed that it was either a Qilin or close to it. Why? His spiritual eye couldn't detect the attributes of such a small guy, which meant that its realm exceeded Lin Xian's by 5 ranks. That is the lowest arcane body realm. Such a small guy. At this moment, the snow Qilin seemed to be holding something in its mouth. It walked towards Lin Xian, then lowered its head, and put the thing in its mouth at Lin Xian's feet. It doesn't seem to have any killing intent towards me. Sensing this, Lin Xian breathed a sigh of relief. Are you going to give this to me? Lin Xian looked at the rainbow-colored, scale-like thing at his feet, and asked tentatively. Lin Xian was even more dumbfounded when it nodded. It can understand me. What kind of monster is this? Just how high was its intelligence? What is certain is that this cute-looking little guy has the ability to insta-kill him. But for the time being, it doesn't have any killing intent. Moreover, its intelligence is very high, and it can even understand human speech. This proves that it is already at the top of the demonic beasts. Terrifying. Extremely terrifying. Lin Xian picked up the rainbow-colored mysterious scale. His spiritual eye probed, but it was full of question marks. It couldn't detect anything. However, in the next second, the rainbow-colored scale unexpectedly turned into rainbow-colored light and entered Lin Xian's body through his fingertips. At that moment he panicked. Ding! The system has detected that host Lin Xian has obtained a special power. Cool scumbag man system has accepted power. Ding! Acceptance of power successful. Ding! Host Lin Xian has obtained metal attribute power. Ding! Host Lin Xian has obtained what attribute power? Ding! Ding! Host Lin Xian has obtained darkness attribute power. Ding! Ding! Host Lin Xian has obtained spatial attribute power. Ding! Host Lin Xian has obtained the power of time. Lin Xian. For a moment, the system notification exploded in his mind. What was going on? He seemed to have obtained all the attributes. Was it because of that thing? Lin Xian hurriedly took a look at his own attributes. Name: Lin Xian. Age: 21. Realm: 9 stars of spirit condensation level. 19 experience. 51001750 scumbag value. 51800 strength. 377 constitution. 366 dexterity. 365 spirit. 365 spiritual energy value. 1450 talent. Imperial medical sacred technique martial skills. Spiritual eye. 5 thunder constellation. Cosmic fist. Chi condensation strike speed shadow attributes. Metal wood water fire earth wind lightning darkness light space time. All attributes can only be used once. Once enough attribute energy is obtained, it will be activated permanently. He really obtained all the attributes. On the aqua blue star, martial artists generally had one attribute. Metal wood water fire and earth were the most common. Wind lightning darkness and light were rare attributes. Very few people had 2 attributes, let alone 3. On the aqua blue star, there was only one way to distinguish a martial artist's talent, and that was to see what attribute he awakened. The rarer the attribute, the more powerful it was. There were 2 attributes that only 1 out of 100 million people would awaken, and that was space and time. These 2 attributes were the most powerful and the most difficult to control. However, Lin Xian not only had time and space, but also all the other attributes. What kind of concept was this? He was invincible. However, he only had one chance to use all the attributes. If he wanted to use them permanently, he needed to obtain the corresponding attribute energy. It was easy to understand, but not easy to understand. The reason why Lin Xian obtained all this was because of the mysterious 7-colored scale given to him by the harmless Xue Qilin in front of him. He was probably the only martial artist on the aqua blue star with all the attributes. If he could use all of them without restriction, then Lin Xian would be invincible. I want to see if it's true or not. Lin Xian felt that it was a little unreal. 5 thunder heavenly phenomenon. Lin Xian condensed powerful lightning attribute force inside him, and then slapped the ground with his right hand. In an instant, purple lightning exploded around him like a storm. Faint white light appeared around the Xue Qilin's small body. The lightning that looked like it could destroy everything was actually harmless to it. When the dust dispersed, Lin Xian looked around and was dumbfounded. When he released the 5 thunder heavenly phenomenon, with his 9th star spirit concentration realm cultivation base, he blasted a crater 20 meters around him. Although it wasn't deep, but with this power, if someone in the same realm was hit by the 5 thunder heavenly phenomenon within this range, they would either die or be seriously injured. Awesome! Lin Xian's eyes flickered. Powerful lightning attribute force. Terrifying earth rank 8 star martial skill. This destructive power is really amazing. When he tried to condense lightning attribute force again, Lin Xian found that he couldn't condense it. This was because it could only be used once. But if enough attribute force was absorbed, it could be used permanently. Wait! Lin Xian looked at the place where the true flame-bursting bullet exploded. Wasn't there a lightning attribute treasure of heaven and earth here? Could it be absorbed? But he didn't dare to go down. Then Lin Xian glanced at the Xue Qilin next to him, and found that its small body released a force. Bang! Its small front paw stepped on the ground slightly, and Lin Xian was sent flying, and then flew into the deep crater full of lightning. As soon as he entered, Lin Xian was instantly melted by lightning attribute force. The terrible power made Lin Xian unable to bear the pain, and he couldn't help but cry out. He was suspended in midair by the lightning. Ding! Absorbing lightning attribute force, please wait. Such a voice sounded in his mind. Lin Xian couldn't see it, because he was in so much pain that he couldn't open his eyes. At this moment, Dense purple lightning poured into his chest and disappeared into his body. The huge lightning attribute force was getting smaller and smaller. It hurts. Lin Xian felt his consciousness gradually blurring. Am I going to die? His skin became charred black, and his clothes turned to ashes in an instant. If it wasn't for the protection of spiritual force, he would have gone bald, and his body would have cracked. Can't bear it. Can't bear it. His realm is too low. I'm afraid that he will explode and die in the next second. Above, the Shueqilin slowly walked to the edge and looked down. When it saw Lin Xian's naked body, it pushed back in a very human-like manner and covered its face with its small paws. After 2 seconds, it condensed a white light and flew down. The white light entered Lin Xian's body, and his cracked flesh healed in an instant. No matter how much lightning poured into him, he was fine. Lin Xian fainted. He felt like he was going to die, but he suddenly felt very comfortable. Then, a voice sounded in his mind. Ding, lightning attribute force has been condensed. Lightning attribute is permanently activated. Ding. Due to host's physique being tempered by lightning, physique plus 50. Chapter 40. When Lin Xian opened his eyes, he found himself lying in the deep pit, and the purple thunderbolt had disappeared. Zung. Lin Xian suddenly got up. Fuck. Where are my clothes? Lin Xian looked at his naked body, and his face was full of confusion. Wait a minute. Lin Xian looked around, and then recalled. It seems that I'm not dead. He touched his body. It seems even harder. He suddenly recalled the voice before he fainted, and looked at his attributes. Physique really increased by 50 points. The thunder attribute. He opened his palm and condensed thunderbolt. ZZZ. Purple thunderbolt flickered in his palm. Joy. Excitement. At this moment, only these two emotions overflowed in Lin Xian's heart. He really turned on the thunder attribute permanently. He doesn't have no attributes now. He has all attributes. It's really like a dream. Wait, that Shueqilin. Lin Xian leaped to the top, but it was nowhere to be seen. Why? Why did it help me? Why did it give me such an important thing? Moreover, I can't bear the power of the thunderbolt with my strength. It helped me bear it, and even helped me heal my injuries. Why? It left without saying a word again. Lin Xian sat in place and pondered. He was really moved. He wanted to find the Shueqilin and thank it, because its appearance completely changed Lin Xian. On Earth, people said that qilins were auspicious omens. If you see a qilin, you will see auspicious signs. He didn't believe it before, but now Lin Xian believed it. Kid, I'll find you. I'll repay you then. Lin Xian's eyes shone brightly. Not all demonic beasts were bad. Many of them were friends with humans. Lin Xian thought for a moment. He now had all the attributes, including the strongest time and space attributes. But apart from the thunder attribute, the others could only be used once. If he wanted to use them permanently like the thunder attribute, there was only one way, and that was to absorb the energy of the corresponding attribute. For example, the fire attribute. He needed to find a heavenly treasure with an extremely strong fire attribute and absorb it. Only then would he be able to release flames forever. This was destined to be a long and arduous journey, but it was also destined that Lin Xian's strength would increase exponentially with each new type. Therefore, this was a path that Lin Xian had to take. If one day he could master all the attributes and control them at will, then he would be truly invincible. Therefore, not only did Lin Xian have to raise his cultivation level, he also had to find treasures with sufficient attribute power to absorb. When he becomes stronger, it shouldn't be as dangerous as this time. But now there was a problem. His clothes were all burned. How was he going to go back? It was already 2 in the morning. Although there weren't many people on the streets of Tianhua City, there were definitely people. He couldn't possibly run back naked, right? Luckily, Mother Nature gave Lin Xian a set of clothes. He picked some large leaves and wrapped himself up, then quickly ran back to Tianhua City. His shoes were also gone. Lin Xian was completely barefoot, but his level wasn't low, so he wouldn't get hurt even if he ran barefoot. 1.5 hours later, Lin Xian successfully arrived at the door of his house. Although he was noticed by a few people on the way, luckily, He didn't miss anything. Ka! When he opened the door, Lin Xian realized that the lights in the living room were still on. Linya was sitting on the sofa watching TV. She wasn't asleep because Lin Xian's phone had been destroyed by the lightning, so Linya didn't answer any of her calls. She was very worried. Seeing Lin Xian come back, Linya quickly ran over and hugged him. She didn't even notice that Lin Xian was wearing grass. "Little fairy, what are you doing?" Lin Xian was slightly startled. He could feel Linya's delicate body trembling slightly. Linya hugged Lin Xian without saying anything. They hugged for a long time. Lin Xian's heart was really touched. She was very worried, very afraid that something would happen to him. She was crying. A girl who sincerely cared for and loved him, a girl who was cold outside, actually cried like this. What reason did Lin Xian have to not treat her well? But at this time, he was blaming himself. Lin Xian slowly reached out and patted Linya's thin back. Okay, it's okay. Lin Xian said gently. Tell me where you go next time. Linya's slightly trembling voice sounded in his ear. This voice sounded like a very, very helpless child, very scared. Okay. I'll tell you where I go next time. Lin Xian's face revealed a blissful smile. Then Linya let go of Lin Xian and looked at him. Lin Xian wiped away the tears on her face. I promise there won't be a next time. Look, aren't I fine? Linya looked at Lin Xian and bit her lip. How did you become like this? Don't mention it. On the way here, a few pretty girls took a fancy to me and stripped me naked. If I didn't run fast enough, I would have been completely drained. I didn't even dare to take my phone before running here. Linya slightly rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. She didn't ask what happened to Lin Xian, as long as he came back safe and sound. Hurry up and go take a shower and change your clothes. You're so dirty. Hee, then I'll give you a kiss first. Lin Xian shamelessly moved his mouth towards Linya's face. Linya pushed him away. I'm going to sleep. After wiping her tears, Linya returned to her room. Lin Xian put away the shameless smile on his face and secretly clenched his fists. He swore that he would protect her for the rest of his life. He wouldn't let her be wronged. Definitely. In the room, Linya leaned against the door and slowly squatted down. Although Lin Xian came back safe and sound, her fear didn't disappear so quickly. Yes, she had a cold personality, because that was the only way people wouldn't think she was easy to bully. However, she was also a very fragile person. She didn't know what she would do if something really happened to Lin Xian one day. She didn't dare to imagine. Because she couldn't get through to Lin Xian's phone, she went out to look for him. When she couldn't find him, she curled up on the sofa and cried. She was really afraid that something would happen to Lin Xian. After slowly calming down, Linya went to bed. At this moment, Lin Xian's system notification rang. Ding! Made a big sister cry to a very deep extent. Scumbag value plus 500,000. With this amount of scumbag value, Lin Xian could imagine how worried and scared Linya was. He decided not to go to school tomorrow. He wanted to spend the day with Linya. The next morning, Linya woke up at around 9 o'clock. She slept too late. The reason she was able to wake up at this time was because she was very diligent. When she came out of her room, she smelled a fragrance. Dang. A nutritious breakfast specially made for my little fairy. Lin Xian suddenly appeared. You didn't go to school? Linya looked at Lin Xian in surprise. Lin Xian pulled Linya's hand and sat at the table. No. I made little fairy unhappy last night. So I want to spend some time with you today. Quick, I made it. Try it and see if it's good. Linya looked at the breakfast on the table and stared blankly. What are you staring at? Try it. I'll go wash up first. As far as he could remember, Lin Xian had made breakfast for him a long time ago. Chapter 41. It was true that Lin Xian had almost never cooked for Linya. Linya had always been the one taking care of the family, and Lin Xian was also used to being taken care of by her. Before he obtained the scumbag system, he was unable to cultivate, and was just an ordinary person who couldn't get any more ordinary. Lin Xian was muddle-headed and had low self-esteem. He even wondered if he could transmigrate from Earth to this place, so if he died, would he be able to go back? At that time, Lin Xian even had thoughts of ending his life, let alone treating Linya with sincerity. It was only later that he realized that Linya was really a good girl. But now Lin Xian really wanted to treat Linya well. Linya came to the table after washing up. The smell was very fragrant, and she couldn't believe that this was made by Lin Xian. Hurry up and eat, or else it'll stick together. Lin Xian sat down beside Linya and dug into his chopsticks. He made 2 bowls of seafood noodles. Lin Xian loved seafood noodles the most. He put some vegetables in the thin noodles, then put the meat of Baihao's mantis shrimps and shrimp meat, and finally put some crab roe on top. Oh my god! Was there anything better than this kind of noodles? Even Lin Xian could finish the entire bowl of soup. It was simply too delicious. Linya picked up a bit and put it in her mouth, chewing slowly. Lin Xian looked at her expectantly. How is it? Is it good? You really made this? Linya was in disbelief. This was too delicious. It couldn't be said to be extremely delicious, but this kind of taste was very comfortable and delicious. Of course. A smile appeared on Lin Xian's face when he heard Linya's words. He often made this for Dongfang Shui back on Earth, and she also liked to eat this. Linya actually finished the entire big bowl of food. Not even the last bit of soup was left. She sat on the chair in satisfaction. It wasn't that it was so delicious that she could eat so much, but there was a kind of happiness in it, because she felt that Lin Xian had changed, but she was very happy. Little fairy, let's pack up and go out to play today. You don't have to go to the company today. Come to think of it, it seems like we haven't had a good time for 3 years. In fact, Lin Xian had only known Lin Xian for 3 years. In his memory, they had gone out to play, but they had only gone out for a stroll. Moreover, these 3 years were also the period when Linya's company was starting up. She was also very busy, but Lin Xian cherished the time he spent with Linya very much. Upon hearing Lin Xian's words, Linya's delicate body trembled slightly, before she nodded without hesitation. Okay, I'll go change. Today, even if there was an important matter, Linya would temporarily put it aside, because she also wanted to go out and play with Lin Xian. On this day, Lin Xian and Linya went to the amusement park, Ocean World, watched a movie together, and had a meal together just like a young couple. Linya, who was as cold as ice outside, had a smile on her face the entire day. Looking at the smile on her face, Lin Xian was very satisfied. Ah, I'm so tired. When Lin Xian and the others returned home, it was already night time. Lin Xian directly collapsed on the sofa. Although he was tired, he was very happy. He really hoped that this kind of day could continue. Linya came with a slight fragrance to Lin Xian's side and sat down, then reached out to massage his shoulders. No need. Lin Xian moved her hand away. In fact, he didn't feel too tired physically. After all, the realm was there, and Linya was definitely more tired than him. Let me massage you. Give me your legs. Linya shook her head slightly. No need. Didn't you say that your legs were tired when you were climbing the stairs? Come, I'll massage them for you. They lived on the 4th floor, but it was a pity that there was no elevator. Linya hesitated for a moment, then leaned against the sofa and extended her legs to Lin Xian. Lin Xian hugged Linya's legs and placed them on his lap. It had to be said that Linya's top quality was not only her face, but her legs were also simply invincible. Today she was wearing denim shorts. Her pair of fair and long legs were always seen by passers-by, and at this moment, her legs were right in front of his eyes. They were fair, smooth, and without any blemishes. Lin Xian placed his hand on Linya's leg and gently massaged it. To be honest, even if Lin Xian didn't have any improper thoughts right now, but when his hand touched this smooth and tender skin, he really couldn't help but have such thoughts. As for Linya, she leaned against the sofa and felt that Lin Xian's massage was quite comfortable, but at the same time, she was also very shy. When they were young, they would be like this because they were young, but when they grew up, they almost never had this kind of situation. How's the strength? Lin Xian asked while massaging. Just right. Ding. Feeling Linya's shyness, scumbag man value plus 20,000. Ding. Congratulations host for triggering the mission. Successful confession to Linya. Mission punishment none. Mission reward. All 4 attributes permanently plus 100 to 300 points. Lin Xian. The system actually gave him a mission related to Linya at this time. And the mission was different from before. Before it was to tease a young lady, but this time, it was to successfully confess to Linya. What did this mean? It wanted Linya to be his girlfriend. This, even if Lin Xian had this kind of heart, even if he had this kind of courage, he was really embarrassed. Do you understand this kind of feeling? They were indeed not blood-related, but how could he be embarrassed? Forget it. Lin Xian thought about it and couldn't say it out loud. Even if he said it out loud, Linya would think it was a joke. So Lin Xian felt that it was better to talk about this mission later, since there was no time limit anyway. After pressing it, Lin Xian looked at Linya and found that she had already fallen asleep on the sofa. Looking at her delicate face, he really wanted to go over and give it a peck. Lin Xian gently put her legs down and then slowly picked up Linya. Linya slowly opened her eyes and found herself in Lin Xian's arms. Seeing that you've fallen asleep, I'll carry you back to your room. After speaking, Lin Xian carried Linya and put her on the bed. Linya's beautiful face slightly blushed. Go to sleep, good night. Lin Xian grinned and then turned off the lights, closed the door and walked out. Linya turned to her side, and a smile appeared on her face. It was happiness that came from the bottom of her heart. The next morning, Lin Xian woke up very early. After making breakfast for Linya, he went to the academy early, because he had something important to ask of Xiao Runing. When he arrived at the Tianhua Academy, Lin Xian actually heard a shocking piece of news. It was about the 2 nether flame lions that Lin Xian had killed the night before. And the news that spread in the Tianhua Academy was that the night before 5 advanced class warriors had gone out to grind. They had all died at the hands of the nether flame lion. As for how this news spread in the academy, Lin Xian didn't know. But this matter had caused everyone to be in a state of panic, to the point that they didn't dare to go out to grind. This was because, under normal circumstances, a monstrous beast like the nether flame lion shouldn't have appeared outside Tianhua City at that distance, let alone the arcane body realm. Many experts in Tianhua City had specially gone out to hunt this monstrous beast, but they didn't know that this monstrous beast was already dead. Chapter 42. Lin Xian went straight to the Sky Martial Court and arrived at beginner class 10. When he entered the class, he found that there were not many people, but Lu Yufan and Yi Yi were both there. They were listening to music on their headphones. When they saw Lin Xian, their expressions were the same, disdain. Hee hee, I missed you so much after not seeing you for a day. Give me a kiss. As he spoke, Lin Xian leaned over. Go away. Yi Yi quickly dodged. Stinky hooligan. Lu Yufan wrinkled her nose cutely. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders indifferently. For some reason, teasing them had become a habit of his. Sometimes, he even wanted to say a few words to them. Yi Yi and Lu Yufan looked at Lin Xian. How should they put it? Lin Xian teased them, so they inexplicably treated Lin Xian as a friend. They were willing to talk to him and chat with him. Of course, as long as Lin Xian was serious. Why didn't you come to the academy yesterday? We'll be going to the demonic beast domain in a few days. Aren't you nervous? Yi Yi asked curiously. Yesterday, Xiao Runing asked Yi Yi why Lin Xian didn't come. How would she know? She was also curious why Lin Xian didn't come to the academy, but Xiao Runing asked her. Lin Xian sighed and said, Yesterday, I went to the demonic beast domain and was injured. The 2 girls were surprised. Lu Yufan looked at Yi Yi and said, I heard that the netherworld flame lion appeared outside. Then she looked at Lin Xian and said, Did you encounter it too? Lin Xian shook his head. No, it's just a little injury. Take a look. With that, Lin Xian stretched out his right hand. There was really a small cut. Yi Yi. Lu Yufan. You call this an injury? Just put a band-aid on it. Yi Yi said helplessly. Lin Xian shook his head. No, you have to make a small cut too. Why? I don't want to. Because then we'll be a couple. Yi Yi. Ding. Successfully teased Yi Yi. Scum value plus 10,000. Lu Yufan's strange voice came from the side. The sour smell of love, Lu Yufan said with a smile. Yi Yi quickly rolled her eyes at her. You're the one. Don't talk nonsense. Lin Xian smiled. These two girls were actually quite interesting. The key was that they were very nice people. At this moment, someone walked in through the door. Where's Lin Xian? Get out here. Everyone looked over. Lin Xian also looked over. It was someone he didn't know. Lin Xian sneered and looked at him. Bro, didn't anyone tell you that you can't just walk into someone else's class? You're Lin Xian. The guy stared at Lin Xian and said, Brother Kai from our advanced class wants you to go over. If you know what's good for you, come over here. Lin Xian twisted his neck and walked over. He thought that Lin Xian was really tactful. Even the people in class 10, including Yi Yi and the rest, thought that Lin Xian was going over. However, bang! Without any hesitation, Lin Xian kicked him. Then his entire body flew out and crashed into the wall of the corridor. Even a few passers-by were shocked by this. Damn, this class 10 is Laozi's territory. Advanced class? Is the advanced class awesome? Lin Xian looked at him and coldly said, F***CK. Brother Xian is indeed Brother Xian. Is the advanced class awesome? Coming from the mouth of a beginner class student, it's so cool. But he's from the advanced class. The weakest person in the advanced class is the strongest in the beginner class. Brother Xian beat him up this. Let's watch the show. In any case, I don't dare to provoke the advanced class. Wang Wen got up from the ground and angrily glared at Lin Xian. You're courting death. Lin Xian impatiently said. Either get lost now, or I'll throw you down. F***CK. Finished speaking. Wang Wen directly brandished his fists and rushed towards Lin Xian. 10 stars of the Qi building realm. Lin Xian disdainfully smiled and backhanded a slap. That decisive, cool, and murderous look made the surrounding people stunned. The crisp sound of a slap resounded through the air. Wang Wen's body spun a few times in the air and directly flew downstairs. He even smashed into the ground and made quite a bit of noise. All of a sudden, everyone in the beginner class was shocked. It was reasonable for Lin Xian to hit someone from the intermediate class, but now he even hit someone from the advanced class. F***CK. What kind of monster is this? Wang Wen was incomparably shocked. He knew that Lin Xian had challenged 10 people from the intermediate class, but he didn't expect him to be arrogant to this extent. He even dared to hit someone from the advanced class. Good. Lin Xian, just you wait. Wang Wen's face was extremely ugly. He then got up from the ground and walked away. Lin Xian walked over to Yi Yi and sighed. AI, is it wrong for this person to be handsome? There are always people looking for trouble with me all day long. When did you provoke someone from the advanced class? The weakest in the advanced class is at least 10 stars of the Qi building realm. Most of them are experts at the spirit condensation realm. They are much stronger than the intermediate class. Yi Yi slightly wrinkled her beautiful eyebrows and said in a deep voice. Lin Xian then grinned. Are you worried about me? Hee, you are so nice. Ding. Successfully teased Yi Yi. Scumman points plus 10,000. Yi Yi's charming face slightly reddened. She didn't know why when she heard that the advanced class was looking for Lin Xian. Her first reaction was not to gloat, but to worry for him. Was this her? Can you be a bit more serious? If you act like this, we can't even be friends. Yi Yi looked at Lin Xian and said. I never planned to be friends with you. Lin Xian shrugged with an indifferent expression. Yi Yi was stunned for a moment. Was she thinking too much? Then Lin Xian's voice came. From the beginning, I only wanted to be a couple with you. Yi Yi. Ding. Successfully teased Yi Yi. Scumman points plus 10,000. Bastard. Yi Yi gritted her teeth. On the side, Lu Yufan was blinking her big eyes like an onlooker. In the past, when Lin Xian was looking for Yi Yi, she would always stand up for Yi Yi. Then she found that she was always being teased by Lin Xian. So now no matter how Lin Xian teased Yi Yi, Lu Yufan was just an onlooker. As long as he didn't tease her, it was fine. Lin Xian didn't want to tease them anymore and said, But who is this Kai Gu? Do you guys know? Yi Yi slightly shook her head and turned her charming face to the side. Lu Yufan said. I know. He is a pretty strong expert in the advanced class. His name is Li Kai. I think he was at the spirit condensation realm before. How do you know him? Lu Yufan wrinkled her jade nose and said. This person chased me before. I don't even know if he's as tall as this baby. Disgusting. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.